We're live. Oakley dokley. So now we're just waiting for Magdalene. Oh man, what's happening?
Fucking kind of bummed out. Supposed to be
Why
at
is
a
that?
show tonight.
Well, what's happening?
Supposed to be at a show tonight.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Amy's sick, so she wasn't going. I'm not going by my damn self. So
Yeah, we're too old to do shit like that alone.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, back in my 20s, I'd have been there. I don't care. You're sick? Oh, I feel bad for you. I'll see you like after the show.
Yeah,
Here, take these. Go to sleep.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Damn, I was. Oh, you know what? Actually, tonight I'm streaming this to YouTube as well. I'll be curious to see if we can get away with talking about whatever we want to talk about. Because Al and I got away with it last week or whenever Al and I did our last show. Literally, like the first. Hey, Gio, what's up, buddy? Literally, the first hour was Penguins hockey talk, and then for 2 hours after that, we talked all kinds of conspiracies and all kinds of shit. So, and it's still on YouTube. So, you know, because we don't have like a million followers and shit.
Yeah.
You get that many people, then you get instantly red flagged. Like, oh, hey, there she is. What's up?
Hey, you guys.
Hey, no soft cast or whatever on your hand anymore. That's good.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm back to work, so
Yeah. How's the
it's like
farm?
95%. It's all good.
How's the farm?
Getting better. How are you guys doing?
I can't complain. Wayne can.
Yeah.
Can I get my
What's up?
I was trying to get
Magdalene,
my headphones to work.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so lots of interesting stuff in the news. I haven't paid all that much attention to it, but I did find it very interesting that I don't know if you guys saw, but in a New York half marathon, 16 runners dropped, one died, the other 15
Really?
ended up in a hospital,
No
and they've
shit.
all been vaccinated. To anybody's surprise, they've been all vaccinated.
Wow.
Yeah, and but here's the best part: if you go by what the lamestream says, it's not the vaccination; it's climate change.
Oh, it's more
So,
had to be monkeypox too, probably.
well, they're blaming everything on climate change, and this has been going on since 2021, probably
No,
before then. But I looked back
it's
and
been
I
going
found
on
a
since
few.
the 80s.
I
What are you
found a
talking?
few articles. Go ahead, Wayne.
This has been going on since the 80s. What are you talking about?
Right, but what I'm saying is like they haven't blamed the death of athletes
Oh,
on climate change back then. That's a relatively new kind of thing. So this is actually kind of funny. I found a few articles. Let me let me see. So worldathletics.org, right? This is the 2021 article. World Athletics survey. Nearly 80% of athletes seriously concerned. Nearly 80% of our sports athletes are seriously concerned about climate crisis. And more than half say that climate change has already impacted them, according to survey of athletes from 89 countries related to the World Athletics, blah, blah, blah. Does that kind of seem to you like, 99% of environmentalists, specialists agree on climate change? Like, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like, they'll tell these athletes, yeah, you can compete in our shit, but you have to agree with this, right? So,
here's some
what was
climate change.
another one?
Here's some climate change.
Say what?
There's some climate change for you.
Yeah. It's all climate change. Here's one from The Guardian from 2021. Olympic athletes and volunteers in Tokyo tortured by hottest games. This is from August 5th, 2021.
Oh, is that why? Cause this?
Is that what?
Is that why? Because it's hot.
Yes, it's hot. Yeah.
No, it's
In the
not.
summertime. Can you believe that? So
It hasn't even hit 80 yet.
No,
I know, but well, this article is from 2021, but it says
Oh, okay.
exertional heat stroke is one of the top 3 causes of sudden death in athletes, and explains why heat waves tend to kill a disproportionately high number of 15 to 19-year-old men.
So that's how they're explaining all the soccer players falling dead
Yeah,
this
yeah.
spring.
So the heat wave, apparently, according to them, we're in such a pussy generation that
What
15
heat
to
wave?
19-year-old men, 15 to 19-year-olds are dropping dead and having heart attacks from heat strokes and shit.
what are they going to do when it turns 90?
I don't know.
Die hard?
It's gonna be 90 this week here, right?
I know.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. So how come I'm not dropping dead? I'm 54. I'm climbing massive fucking hills in my hand cycle, and I'm lifting weights and riding my game cycle in like humid conditions. How come I ain't
Wow.
dropping dead?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm out there in the garden all day in the heat and doing
You're
7,
not
8
having a
facials
stroke or
a day.
anything?
No, I
That's
feel
not how
fine.
it's supposed to
I
be.
just realized Wayne shaved his beard off. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I gave him shit about that at my party.
Yeah, it had to go.
I think that was the first question I asked him. I was like, "Yeah, what happened to the Viking beard? I expected this beard to show up at the party."
The
Like, what's different? Something's different. There you go. Looks good.
well, thank you. The
Yeah.
because climate change and everything, so I had to go
Right.
because it's really hot out.
Yes,
Things are
exactly.
getting hot out.
Climate
Yeah.
change made
Yeah.
climate change shaved his beard, held him down.
Yeah,
That's
did a
pretty
number.
No, but I
sad, though.
did.
I mean, what the hell? Like, what the heck are they gonna freaking invent next? It's just,
Well, I mean, we know what their agenda is. Here, check this out, actually,
yeah,
because this one I
yeah.
got. This one was from Patriot Alert, right? And in here it talks about the people dropping dead, and all Brooklyn half participants must declare that they have been vaccinated for COVID-19. The official website
Oh,
declares.
and did they have to wear masks while they were running?
Not from what I can tell. I'm looking at the
Okay.
runners here, and none of them are wearing masks. I mean, you got to be a real
Okay.
fucking tool to do that, you know?
So basically, you had to be vaccinated to participate in the marathon.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if I'm the families of these people, I sue the shit out of them. And I
What
know
the
that
hell
people
rule
sign
is
waivers.
that?
I get that people sign waivers, but it's one thing to sign a waiver, and it's another thing to not be allowed to participate in
Right.
something unless you get that shot.
Exactly.
So I fully
Yeah,
expect
that's
them to
bullshit.
get their ass sued off. Okay, the New
Well,
York that half marathon might be done, huh?
that's not going to happen.
You know what? It's been happening all over the place. You'd be amazed how many places are getting sued for this kind of shit, for mask related shit. But this is pretty interesting here. So it actually lists. I'm not going to read all the people on this list, but yeah, they talk about in here about exactly what we talked about, soccer players and stuff dropping dead, right? Like Sergio Aguero, 33, Barcelona star striker, admitted to hospital for cardiac exam after match. And it's all either cardiac, like heart issue, or a blood clot. Abu
Yeah.
Ali, 22, professional footballer, collapses on pitch during game.
When
Adi Barat,
did you ever
29.
hear? When did you ever hear about, like, before this year, a 22-year-old guy dropping
Well,
dead
you
of a heart
never.
attack?
I'll tell you what.
Never.
The only time I saw a bunch of players literally drop dead at the same time on a field was in a game. I don't remember whether it was in Bolivia, but it was somewhere in South America, and they were playing, and lightning struck the field. The field was already wet from the rain, and lightning struck the field, and you saw about 8 or 9 players just drop. They just felt like their bodies, their souls just left their bodies.
Now,
Wow.
listen, to be completely 100% fair, I mean, you do hear about like even teenagers, like teenage, like football players and stuff. They drop, but not nearly. Like
That's
it's like
rare. That's
I
pretty
mean,
rare.
one every like 5 or 10 years or something like that. But I mean,
Yeah, that's
as
really rare. You know what I
like,
mean? And
yeah,
it's not always, usually when that happens, it's not because of a blood clot or a heart attack.
it's a heat stroke.
Right. I had friends. In fact, one of my guys who was in the NFL, he had a heat stroke when he was playing at Autodice with me.
Yeah,
And but he was a big guy. I mean, Jim was, he was 260 in high school and
goddamn.
6'3" or 6'4". I mean, he was a big boy in high school, you know. So while I was totally fine in that August heat when we were practicing, it was literally like a period where we were going through like high 90s and low hundreds.
Yeah,
He was over there throwing up, and
yeah.
they were trying to get salt pills into him. And what's up?
He was just in generally bad shape.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that he was in bad shape, but because of his size, right? I mean, I was 5'8", 150 pounds. So while I was hot, I wasn't carrying. He was literally like twice my size, So yeah, if you're gonna get that, usually it's a guy like you'll see linemen or whether offensive or defensive linemen. It's usually big guys who this happens to. But now you got kids 5'8", having a heart
Yeah.
attack on the field.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that commercial that they started running where the girl, I guess she scores a goal or something? Sorry, I got my eyes on the Rangers and Hurricanes game as well.
Hey, I can't be at my show. You're not allowed to watch your game, fucker.
I'm not married. That's the difference. I'm not married. I can be wherever I want. At any rate, that commercial where I guess it's a girl, she's playing in a soccer game and she scored a goal or something. She jumps up to celebrate and then she just all of a sudden drops face first. Did you guys see that
What?
commercial?
No.
No.
Yeah, and her mom runs down, yells her name, whatever, Nikki or whatever, yells, runs down, and this now Big Pharma is running ads that they're creating the drugs to save your child who just had a fucking heart attack because she took the medication that you were taking. And it was one of those like sympathetic type of ads. You know what I mean? Where like the music, you hear the orchestra going and, you know, trying to tug at your heart. And, you know, poor Nikki had a stroke or whatever, Mario carditis or whatever it's called, the heart problem. And, you know, we're going to save her for you.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm
we
fucking with
caused it, but we'll save her. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know, we got to save what global warming creates. I just, you know,
It's getting absolutely freaking ridiculous.
it really is, you know,
Mhm,
you know, unfortunately, there's still people who are letting them get away with it. And I don't mean like by the
mhm,
legal sense, but even just by, you know, looking at the lemmings, like the neighborhood I live in, right, Wayne?
mm.
I live in a
No,
lemming.
no comment from the peanut gallery.
Well, I
But
live in the biggest
honestly,
lemming community of Pittsburgh. So, you know, you'll see them triple vaxxed and triple masked and, you know,
which is really sad for who they are and what they went through. I
no, I
mean,
call them the never again people, the never
so,
again. And here we
right?
are, it's happening again. And, you know, they get mad at me because I'm like, fuck you. I ain't getting on the train, bitch.
Mm-mm.
You know?
Yep.
So, whatever. I don't care. I honestly, like I said, I really don't care anymore. You know, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But really, if
Mhm.
you're stupid enough to still go along with this shit, it's on you. It's
Yeah.
on you. I feel horrible for their children because it's not like their
Yeah.
children had a chance. You know, I see little girls. There are two little girls, probably ages, what, they're like 6 and 7, maybe, if that, right at the top of the hill here. And they're out there, the only two girls playing fully masked. Fully masked. There's nobody else around them. Okay. I can't even understand it when it's at midday of school, right? With all the children out there. I don't even get that. But okay, at least when you got that many kids out there, they're spreading colds, germs, whatever, right, to each other.
Mhm.
But when it's
Right.
just two of them out there playing and there's literally nobody else around, and every time I wheel by there, I'm just like shake my head like,
And they're sisters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if
They
they're
live
sisters.
together.
They might just be friends. I have no idea. I don't know if they are, but either way,
Mm.
it's just two of them. There's
Yeah.
nobody else around. So what are they gonna do? Give it back and forth to each other? You know, stupid. But again, these are the times in
No,
which we live.
it is. It's crazy.
So Magdalene, we missed you last week. You were the only one not here. Wendy was here. Al Levine was here. Wayne
Oh
was
my
here.
gosh. I'm so sorry. I can't.
Yeah, you missed. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, we had some really miserable last week or so. So we just, don't ever live on a farm and have animals.
The best part that you missed, you have to tell the story now since she didn't hear it. You have to tell the story, your steering wheel story. It was the fucking highlight of the night. It was
Oh, right.
fantastic.
Oh, this is going back, good God, probably like 1991 or 92. And my friend Dave, yeah, Gio was there, by the way. He just
Yeah.
chimed in. Gio and
Oh,
Carol and Lavita, and eventually Adele showed
wow.
up. And, you know, actually, Adele missed you guys literally about a half hour, an hour after you guys left, Gio. That's when Adele showed up. Um,
Aw.
so my buddy Dave had a Trans Am. I think it was Trans Am. Um, nice, you know, Chris, the kid who was here, was his mechanic, right? You met Chris, right? Yeah, because we were exchanging stories. Um, but anyway, so Chris worked on his car, but I don't know what happened. The one night we're like all stoned, right? We were up in Beachview or Brookline. I don't know where one ends. It's all the same over there for me. So we're coming back, and Dave was bringing me home to drop me off, and we're flying through the Armstrong, no, not the Armstrong Tunnel, the Liberty Tubes, right? So we're flying back in towards town. We cross 51. We're flying across the tunnels. He's high, I'm high, and he, he's like takes the steering wheel. He's like, dude, he hands it to me. He's like, my steering wheel came off. Meanwhile, we're still like 100. Thank God that Chris does the aligning of his car because it was perfectly aligned. His car is just flying like 100 miles an hour. And I'm like, dude, put this thing back.
Oh my god.
The way he said it, though, the way he said it was hilarious. He's like, you might want to put this back, man.
Yeah, it was something that, like, dude, like, I was so, like, what do you want me to do with it?
It was hysterical.
Yeah, just the dumb
Oh.
shit that happens, But it was really
Oh.
funny because, like, nobody panicked. Nobody was like, oh, shit. Dave just took it,
Yeah, he
stuck
was
it
like-
back in there, and just continued driving like nothing happened.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Scary but awesome. Kind of worked
Yeah.
out fine.
You know what? I guess it would have been scary if we weren't high as fuck and didn't give a shit,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just-
true.
We're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, look, my attitude with the tunnels is always like, that's where you speed, man. Like, I would get into a tunnel and boom, I open it up, whether I was on motorcycle or in a
Wow.
car or whatever. Because number one, you ain't getting caught by a cop unless he's right behind you.
Right.
Mhm.
And number two, if you crash, you're going to continue to go straight, right? You're not like
But
somewhere where
it
you're going to
had
veer
to
off.
be like it was like it had to be like late in the evening or during the
No,
night
it was like
because
3 in the morning or
any
something. Yeah.
Pittsburgh tunnel you can never get through like that. It's
Yeah,
there's
I know.
always that.
It is though, and the reason I'll tell you the reason that is, Magdalene.
Why
And
is
you
what?
see, time you approach a tunnel, you get 2 walls and a ceiling around you, and forget it. People forget how to drive.
Yeah.
God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the most
And you know
incredible.
what's funny? Here in Pittsburgh, every tunnel is straight. Like the Holland Tunnel or whatever going into New York City, it's like windy, right?
Yeah.
And I swear
Mhm.
people drive better there
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
than these idiots here who just have a straight line.
I've
Yeah.
never, no matter wherever I've been, have ever went through a tunnel where people just come almost to a screeching stop.
Nope.
Yeah.
Never, ever, anywhere, nowhere.
Nah, but
It's the
usually-
craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It's a Pittsburgh phenomenon. It's like you what yeah, freaking
Well,
monsters living in there. You scared or
Walls of-
what? I don't know.
They just forget how to drive. It's crazy. It's
Yeah. Well, you know what? It only takes like 1 or 2 people up front to like tap
Yep.
the brakes, and then it creates a chain event of,
Yep.
now 2 hours later, everybody's slowing down. So
Everybody can be claustrophobic going through there.
like you also, in fairness, you also have the idiocy here where you got to cross lanes, right? So, like coming up to the Fort Pitt Tunnel, if you're coming out of Squirrel Hill, right? Then you come up to the Fort Pitt Tunnel, but you don't want to go through the tunnel. You got to get to the other side to get like not Station Square, but to the West End. You got to
Yeah, you
cross those 4 lanes.
300 feet, make it work.
Right. You literally got to cross 4 lanes in traffic and rush hour. I mean, you're crisscrossing all over the
Right.
place. And then you got people
Like,
from the right
close your
lane.
eyes and go. I
Yeah.
don't care. I'm
Yeah.
going.
Oh my
I'm going.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that too. But and then the Squirrel Hill Tunnel, the idiots, they put the on ramp in front of the off ramp.
Yeah.
So you got people trying to come on and people trying to get off, and now they're
Get
like,
off. It's really the roads in Pittsburgh are the most ridiculous I think I've ever seen anywhere.
oh, there's
I've been-
some.
hmm
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think this city was designed to have the population size that it does.
No, absolutely not.
I think it literally outgrew whatever the original design
Yep.
was.
Yeah.
Because that shit
There's
works if you've
definitely
got like
some new
50,000 or 100,000 people, right?
Yep.
But we're at
Right.
like 250,000.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
not that that's huge or anything, but it's just
Yeah.
the design is terrible.
So no
Yeah.
wonder nobody leaves their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't-
Exactly. Right.
Driving in the city because people are dumb and every fucking road's a one way. It's ridiculous.
Right. But no, that is the funny thing. That's a very Pittsburgh thing that like people in the East End don't really go in the West End. People in the West
Right.
End don't go in the South side or South don't go in. It's really weird.
Like,
Like
oh
you
my
go
god,
over
it
there,
used
it's
to
like
be
a
all
major.
over
You
the
feel like in
place.
another city.
Yeah.
Tutorial with where they live. Yeah.
Yeah. Much more so than I would say even New York. And New York has some big boroughs there. You
Mhm.
know. But yeah, no, it's funny. It's just some of the dumbassery about Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
had like the funny thing is my very last ticket I got was literally like 2 days before I got paralyzed. and I was
Oh,
coming back from work. I used to work at the Army commissary out in Oakdale, and I would have to come back, go up Green Tree Hill, then come down Green Tree Hill into town. And this is what I posted about in that one thing, Wayne, that you commented on. That was talking. When was last time, or where were you when you first went 120 miles per hour or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I had a Kawasaki 454. It wasn't a big bike or anything, but it could hit 120. That's one thing about motorcycles is you don't really need a big engine to go fast because all it's carrying is just meat, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna rock
So,
it. Yeah.
and I weighed a whopping 165 pounds at the time. So, you know, oh, by the way, when I rode my motorcycle back in '93, I could fill up for under $1. I swear to God. If I got the cheap gas, it was 89 cents, but I always put the expensive gas in there. So I paid $1.10 to fill up my bike, and I would get about
wow.
110 miles out of it if I rode alone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great.
right.
Holy
Now
moly.
that would be what, $5? I mean, it's still cheap, but
Wow.
still, Um, so anyway,
Speaking of that post, never mind. Go
hey,
ahead,
there's Dave.
finish your
So
story.
no, anyway, right. So I'm coming back from work, and I was in a hurry to get home to watch. It was going to be John Elway against Montana. This when Montana was in Kansas City, right towards the late end of his career. So I wanted to go home to watch the game. So I'm flying. I fly up Green Tree Hill. I come down the other side into town, but I get stuck behind this old lady. They had the whole left lane coned off, which is another thing they freaking love to do in Pittsburgh. Is they barrel roads off for no apparent reason, and then nobody works on it for like 3 months,
Right.
right? So I'm stuck behind this old lady. She's literally doing like 35, like, the same fear of the tunnels you get with the barrels. So she's doing 35 and I'm stuck behind her, like just itching, man. I got a bike where, I can just take off like that.
You're right.
And I didn't even notice there's a car that gets in behind me that comes in from Green Tree, comes off of Green Tree, right? Gets in behind me. And, at the bottom of that road there, it opens up into 4 lanes.
Yeah.
So as soon as, headed into the tunnel, so 2 of the lanes go into the tunnel and the 2 veer off to like wherever. So as soon as it opens up to there, I go around there and I'm like, zin, 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 I'm gone. I fly through the tunnels. My bike showed 120. I had it pinned, totally pinned. And I am flying. I get to the other side. I come out of the tunnel. I mean, it took me like literally 10 Mississippi to get through the tunnel. So, so I come out the other side and I slow down to make the turn, towards like Squirrel Hill. And as soon as I go around there, I slow down. I'm doing like 70, car comes up next to me and its front lights are doing this. They're flashing like this. And I hear, pull over at the next emergency exit. I'm like, who, me?
Oh.
Like, yeah, you on the bike. Pull over at the next emergency. So there's like a little pit area. Yeah, I pulled in there and it gets in behind me. And this is literally like only a month after I got my my actual driver's license for the motorcycle. Because before I just drove on a permit for the longest time. And he and I just end up talking. We hung out for like 45 minutes afterwards, talking about all kinds of stuff. But he had a son my age, so I often wonder whatever happened to that dude. But he's like, do you know how fast you were going? I said, you know what? I have no idea because I was going at that time. The tunnels were still brick. If you remember, they used to be a yellow brick, the 4 pit tunnels. And you're say what?
I think that was before my time here.
Oh yeah, when did you come here?
97.
Okay, this was back in '93, and yeah, they used to be yellow brick. So my mirrors would be like, you couldn't see shit in the mirror. Like every headlight looked like this,
Right.
So I couldn't tell that it was a cop. I didn't hear a siren, but then again, you're in a tunnel and you got the helmet on and the rev of the engine and shit. So he's like, do you know how fast you were going? I said, you know what? I have no idea. He's like, well, let me put it this way. I was doing 90 and you pulled away from me like I was standing still.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, well, I said, my fault, man. I said, do you know how hard it is to go slow on these things? He's like, I do. It's like, but if you would see the wrecks that I see, you'd slow down. I'm like, touche. So he gave me like, I think I got like a $90 ticket or whatever for speeding. But we actually, like I said, we hung out and we talked for like a half hour, 45 minutes afterwards, just sitting on the side of the road. He was a really nice guy, but he did his job, whatever. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, don't give me a ticket. Like, yeah, I was speeding a lot and you got me. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool.
So, okay. So back what I was about to say about that post.
About
about that post?
Oh, with the 120
Yeah.
miles per hour thing. Oh, okay.
So what is your what? Why wouldn't you never go tandem?
I just because it wouldn't be as fun. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. Obviously, I think your first jump would be tandem anyway, right? You don't get to just jump out on your own the first time, right?
Static line.
Oh, okay. But and, I want like the full experience. I want the experience of just by myself, landing on my own feet, rolling, and all that the shit you do when you land. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like if I do it with somebody else, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm there, but like I'm not really in control. It's like being on the back of the motorcycle, right?
Right.
You're there, the risk of death is real, but you have no control, you know.
Right.
So that's what I meant by that. Like I want to do it, you know. Hopefully all this shit is real and the med beds are real and all that shit. And if that's the case, then that's one of the first things I'll do
Nice.
because I wanted to.
It's fucking fun, dude. I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
sure it is.
It's scary as shit. Like it's
I'm
scary when
sure it is.
you jump out of the airplane, and when you
Yeah.
first jump out of the airplane, you're like, "Oh wow, that's a really, really fucking long way up."
Still
But
like
then,
that in the Liberty tubes, says Dave.
What?
What? Liberty tubes still brick? Is that what he's saying? I don't remember them being brick. Maybe I
Hmm.
had it the other way around. Maybe it was I don't know. Now he's got me confused. But yeah, no, I'm sure it is. Look, you're stepping into nothingness.
yeah,
And then the ground is coming up towards you at,
Hmm.
terminal velocity.
yeah, and it doesn't take
So,
you. It doesn't take you long to hit that either. It's pretty fucking fast.
oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what's normally the height you jump from?
That particular when I free fell, I only did one free fall,
Okay.
and that was about 17,000 feet. I jumped.
Oh wow.
Nice.
How long?
And
How
You're
long
up
did it
high
take?
enough where the farms all look like this, right? Like
It,
that.
Wow.
Like,
actually, you can look at like the counties and stuff, and they look
yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's wild.
cool.
How long did it take to get down from
Um.
that? Do you remember?
So from the time I got out of the airplane until I opened my chute, it was about probably 20 seconds, not even.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah,
That's it?
super fast.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
but does
it's
does it seem longer or shorter? You know what I mean?
I don't really know because, like I said, that was my only free fall. So
19 jumps, says Dave. 5,000 to 19,000. Nice.
oh shit, I
Nice.
David, I got 7 in. I did 6 static lines, and then my 7th was my free fall, and then I never got to go after that again.
Wow.
But
Well, if I'm cured, then we'll do it.
so,
I'm not going.
so when I
Well, hey, you got the med bed. If something happens, you just get back in the med bed and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
so when
Revive
I did,
me.
so when I did
Yeah.
My
the
dad used to do it. He was a Green Beret. He did it many, many,
Oh, yeah?
many times. Yeah, he did it.
so
But
when I did my free fall though, like I wasn't really overly aware of time because I was, when you're fucking jumping out of
You're
an
looking
air,
at your meter.
yeah, you're looking at your altimeter, you're looking at like fucking, that's basically all you're looking at.
he's just going,
Yeah.
oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, you're not really looking at. Actually, you're not even really looking. You're not really paying attention to anything but your altimeter
Yeah.
because
Okay.
as soon as like it's that go, and if something happens, something goes wrong, you only have a certain amount of time to pull your reserve.
You ever
Wow.
see that guy who jumped from like, I don't know, 30,000 feet or whatever, ridiculous height into a big net
I saw that.
without a
Yeah,
chute, without
yeah,
parachute?
yeah. That was a couple years ago, actually. I did see that.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
That was wild. Now
Yeah,
that
Crazy.
I don't know if I would have the balls to do something like
I
that.
would.
I would have to get
Fuck
really,
that.
really comfortable at jumping.
Fuck, no way. There's no way I would have did that. No way.
Yeah.
That guy's crazy as shit.
Yeah. But he did it though. He did
Yeah.
it.
Mm,
That's impressive. He hit that net. You see the net just
Whoop. Did you see?
that's
He
insane.
was like stunned. Like almost. He looked like he was thinking it probably to himself, "I'm still alive. Holy fuck."
yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
Oh,
really cool. That's
Yeah,
right up
but
there with when Evil Knievel tried to jump the Grand Canyon.
the Grand Canyon.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But like your static lines though. I mean, they're so easy because like you fall
Well, you just
literally.
basically glide down, right? In
No,
that case.
you jump out. You exit the plane. you fall for about 25, 30 feet, and then your parachute opens for you.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. You just glide down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but try doing that while people are trying to shoot at you.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's why I tell you what, man, the airborne, they're the craziest fucking people in the military to me. Because I'm like, especially during World War II, right? You would have like 50 airplanes going above like Berlin, or probably not Berlin, but wherever, like somewhere in the countryside. And you see just like thousands of people jumping out, right? And all these shoots coming down. And the gunners are down there like, pop, 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 pop.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
that is
Taking
nuts,
them off.
man.
Yep.
I don't know how they got talked into doing that shit. You can talk me into doing that. I'm willing to do a lot of crazy shit, but one, I ain't kissing snakes. I ain't fucking snake handling and shit. Like those idiots who are like, God will save me, and fucking get bit by a rattlesnake and die.
Yeah.
And the other thing, you're not going to have me jump out of an airplane, be a sitting fucking duck for a bunch of people with guns down below trying to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I want to go into battle. Like I'd like to be a sniper, or just fucking one of them, just so covered with whatever the environment is, right? Like if I'm in a desert, I want all yellow shit on me and
your ghillies.
Right. I want a fair chance is all I'm saying.
Right.
You're gonna kill me, I'm gonna try to kill you, and I want a fair chance. I mean dangling down like la 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 la, pow, 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 bullets whizzing by you. Fuck, shells are whizzing by you. Ain't even bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'd rather get hit by a shell, right? You get hit by the shell, game over. You get shot.
Yeah.
If I was to get shot, and if it was by a sniper, because the sniper has a high probability of fucking you up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if I'm gonna get shot by a sniper, I would want him to have like probably a 50 cal.
That way I want to get hit by a shell. That way nothing is left. I'm instantly out of the body and the body's gone.
You've never seen, well, you've obviously you've never seen a 50 caliber round. They're massive. They're huge. So you would be fucking like, it would take your head completely off. Put it that way. Your head would just explode.
I think a shell would just evaporate me completely. My luck, I'll catch that fucker and hit the plane.
All it had to do was just blow a hole in your chute, and you'd be a damn goner.
And that would suck, wouldn't it?
No, that's not true, because you have a reserve.
Well, you have a reserve, but then you have all these people shooting at you, so chances it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Jeez.
Then if you get a hole in your parachute, you start free falling again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, but I'm saying the army guys, the army guys, like jumping out of planes, they had a reserve on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know what? They'll still though. I don't care. You can give me 5 reserves. I still ain't fucking doing that. Fuck that. I don't even want to fly the plane that's being shot at, let alone
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're in a bomber, or you're in that, you're in a carrier, and you're just like a sitting duck, man. I never want to be a sitting duck. It's like the who was it? Those Marines who supposedly killed bin Laden, and then they were set up in that helicopter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the helicopter mysteriously flies through a valley for no apparent reason in the middle of the night.
Right.
And they're
like, well, how could this happen?
And boom. Yeah.
They get hit by an RPG.
Yeah, G. Yeah, let's just have them fly through a valley in the middle of the night, because nothing bad could happen there. Oh, by the way, I want everybody who was involved on that bin Laden hoax, everybody get on the chopper. You're gonna take a fun flight, fuck out of here.
Yeah, in the case of Clintonization.
Why would someone exactly? Jay says, why would someone jump out of a perfectly good aircraft?
And I have your answer, Jay, because it's fun as shit.
I would actually do it, Jay. I would actually do it. But like I said, not while I'm being shot at. Not during a time of war. Like, I want to just enjoy my flight to the ground and not be like, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. Because, you hear the bullets go by like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. But
I'm perfectly happy in my little seat by the window, and sleep and get there when I get there.
I'm pretty sure that it's like one of the contributors to why my knee is fucked up, though, because 2 landings they were kind of bad. Like I landed.
Well, you need better shoes. Get shoes with springs on them. Like doing. It'd be like some Roadrunner shit.
The one time I landed,
the Acme Springs.
A gust of wind.
Yeah.
A gust of wind actually right before I landed, like it hit my chute. and it fucking
Did it drag you?
It drugged me, yeah. And I landed on my one foot because I like landed sideways like this, and I felt my knee go whoop. You know what I mean? And then it like, and it drugged me. I was like, motherfucker.
Well, be glad you weren't in the desert getting dragged to like cactus and shit.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, right. Jay, I know Jay was in the Air Force, but happily on the ground, he says.
It's fun.
You know what? That comment, why would someone jump out of a perfectly good aircraft, reminds me of the beginning of the third Batman movie with Bane. That beginning scene, did you see that one?
I didn't see it, no.
Oh, dude, you guys just watch the beginning, dude. It's fantastic. Like Bane and them, they want to take these people who are in an airplane. So they come over top with a bigger airplane and they release like they basically rappel down into the other plane, blow it open, take the people who they wanted. I think they were after his doctor, and basically blow half of the other plane apart. And dude, it's just one of my favorite scenes. It's so outrageous, but so freaking cool, right? The way it went down. And like they tried to interrogate these people, right? So they had them. I think it was like the CIA or some organization like that had these people, and they're trying to interrogate them by holding them. They had a hood over them, right? And they're holding them by the door of the airplane, and they're asking them questions like, "Who did this? You know, give us a name." And then they would fire a gun.
What?
Huh?
Deal?
Well, they didn't. They would fire a gun and pretend like they threw him out of the airplane, but they didn't, right? So then they bring the next dude over, having him think that the first guy got tossed out. And then you hear Bane saying, like, why would you shoot a man before you throw him out of an airplane? It's just like, I love that line, dude. But you got to see the opening 15 minutes of that movie is just insane. I love it. It's one of my favorite scenes out of any film. Point Break, dude, says Dave. Hey, Dave, did you see the new Point Break? They actually remade that movie. Did you see that, Wayne?
Oh, boo. Did they really? No.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I imagine.
Yeah, it's terrible. It was almost as bad as the remake of Red Dawn.
I didn't see that either.
Oh, dude, that was so painful.
The original was good.
Oh yeah, the original Red Dawn was great. The original Point Break was great. That was one of Keanu's first movies, right?
Yeah.
Other than Bill and Ted.
Like when I think of Times to Come, I think of Red Dawn.
Dave, my favorite part of that movie was when they were up in the airplane and it's like,
all Point Break?
Your body and you're about to die.
You talk about Point Break?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't seen that in so long. I just remember that giant surf at the end of the movie that he was. And then I do remember like president. They went in and they were robbing banks with like different president masks on, right? Nixon, Reagan.
Yep.
Yeah. And we have to watch that again. Who was that? Patrick Swayze, I think, was in that too, right?
That was Patrick Swayze. Yes. Yep. Swayze and Keanu. Yep.
And Lori
cool
Petty, Tank Girl.
Say it again.
Lori Petty, Tank Girl.
I don't remember her.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
It was Keanu Reeves' partner.
Who was?
Gary Busey.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was in that. Yeah. You know what? I like any movies in. One of my favorite movies of all time, I cannot find anywhere, like for free, is DC Cab. I freaking love that movie. You remember that?
I don't think I saw it.
Oh, really? Dude, that was like the ultimate 80s comedy. I mean, it had everybody and their mother, man. All the comedians, the Barbarian Brothers, Gary Busey, Bill Maher. That was probably one of the only movies he was in. Who was,
Really?
Yeah, Mr. T. Oh my God. There's so many, like everybody in there. Marsha Whitfield or whatever, the black chick from Night Court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was in that. Oh my God. I can't even think of everybody in there, but literally everybody in there is a comedian or like, just one of those type actors like Mr. T and shit.
Right.
Wow.
And it's called DC Cab, dude. It's such a hysterical movie. Yeah. I can't believe you never saw it.
I know. Yeah, I never.
That's like right up there with saying that you never saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High. DC Cab is in the same class. Like if you love Fast Times, you're gonna love DC Cab.
Yeah, I never. Fast Times was like one of the best movies ever probably made.
Oh,
when it comes
to you know what the funny thing is? That's such a guy flick, but it was actually directed by a woman. Do you know that?
Who?
I don't know her name. I don't know, but I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, really? Because it's such a guy movie. Like I was like, really? That was directed by a chick? All right.
Wow.
Yeah. Um. Oh
Everybody,
yeah, Irene Cara. That's right. She's in there too. Irene Cara. Irene Cara.
Aw.
Yeah. Oh, that movie's great, dude. If you can find a movie somewhere, watch it. It's as funny today as it was back then.
okay, I'll have to check it out.
And I think probably one of the reasons they got rid of it because it's of course politically very incorrect.
Yeah, most of the movies back from the '80s were.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. But it was great, dude. It's just it's one of those like stupid '80s movies that is just so freaking funny.
Yeah,
And it's the cast that makes it great. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
watch a movie, be like, oh my god, whatever happened to him? Hey Dave, who was that Mexican comedian who was in it? Who was from the law firm of what they went in to try to rescue or get information from somebody who was in a hospital. So they pretended they were from a law firm representing her. Shit, now I can't remember what it was. Dewey Cheatham and Howe. That's where that came from, right? You heard the law firm of Dewey Cheatham and Howe.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where that shit started. They're from a law firm, Dewey Cheatham and Howe.
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah. I can't remember his name though. Like he was a pretty big name Mexican comedian back then.
Hmm.
Hey, it's tough to be a man, baby. That was his that was like his catch line in the movie.
Not
I
Lopez.
think I see it. I
Huh?
think I see the
George
face, but I can't remember the name.
No, I don't think it was George Lopez. Because this guy came
No,
before
no,
Lopez. Dave will know. I'm sure
he
Dave is
was
gonna
way
type it in
before
there.
Lopez.
Yeah. He was one of the first like big Mexican comedians in the US.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I see his face, but I don't.
Yeah, I can see him. I just can't think of his name. Now now I'm thinking George Lopez because Wayne put that in my
Mm-mm.
head. But Dave, if you remember who it was, what the comedian, I know Dave and I used to actually do that all the time in high school. We were like, hey, it's tough to be a man, baby. The Three Stooges had to do it. Oh, it was Three Stooges? Okay. I think, Jay, do you remember DC Cab? Is that the name they used? Maybe I'm thinking of the Stooges there. But at any rate, yeah, I highly recommend that movie to anybody, especially if you like grew up in the 80s. If you're an 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s child, you're gonna love DC Cab. If you can find it somewhere for free, please let me know because I can't find that shit anywhere.
Mm.
And I don't feel
You
like paying like $9 to see it.
you can't find it on that site you
No,
gave me.
no. I looked all over the place.
Really?
Do you
Yeah,
still
I
use
can't.
time?
What's that?
Do you still use popcorn time?
No, they're gone.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, that site was taken down. This site's even better though. So soaptoday.ac or dot, I don't know, it's got like a bunch of dots. Dot cx, yeah, that's another one.
Hmm.
But yeah, so the party was cool. I think everybody had a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Let me see, what else did we have?
We were out in the barn till 4 a.m. the night before, trying to save these 3 little lammies.
I will say that like that was the earliest I think I've ever gone home from one of your parties.
Yeah, midnight.
Yeah, home by 11:30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? 11:30? Okay.
We're fucking
Yeah,
old.
but it was kind of chill though. It was a nice time, you know.
Yeah.
Did you say you're getting older?
Yeah.
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 I can't believe
Yeah.
you were. That was crazy. You haven't
can't what?
drank. You haven't drank at one of your parties in quite a while.
I know. You know what though? I just steadily drank like throughout the whole day. Just I was drinking those Paul Rodriguez. That's it. Thank you, Dave.
Oh yeah.
Paul
Oh my
Rodriguez.
God.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember him, Wayne. He was pretty big in the 80s.
I do.
Yeah. It's tough to be a man, baby.
Yeah.
He would just drive his cab around trying to pick up every chick who got in his cab. And he'd get shot down on. He's like, hey, it's tough to be a man, baby. But yeah, it was about just a really dysfunctional DC cab company.
Right.
Hmm.
And yeah, of course their rival like had all their shit together. They had like new cabs and all brand spanking clean and looking, and these guys would like break all the laws, and they would pick up like foreign tourists at the airport and drive them like all around DC to rack up like a $400 cab bill, shit like that. Yeah, the movie's hysterical.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie. I used to watch another cab series, The Taxi. Do you remember that?
Oh
Yeah.
Used to
yeah,
watch
absolutely.
that. That
Taxi
was
kind of like led into Cheers. There were a lot of people from Taxi on
yeah,
Cheers and vice
yeah,
versa.
yeah, yep.
In fact,
That
late nights on Channel 4 here, they used to have Taxi and Cheers back to back, like after the
really
11 o'clock news.
wow.
Like after those shows went away though, like those actors just disappeared.
Yeah.
From Taxi?
Yeah.
Some of them. I mean, obviously Danny DeVito didn't. You know,
Right.
he's bigger than ever. Same with what's his name, who played Jimmy Ignatowski. He played Doc Brown and Back to the Future, and um,
Mm.
no, what the hell was his name?
Here we go again.
Right? I'm horrible with names, but
I
it's
can't.
funny. I remember their fictional name. I can't remember their real name.
Uh-huh.
You
No.
know what I'm talking about, though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then who
The
else? The
the hair.
redhead, Mary Lou Henner.
Yep.
She went on. She did some movies. She was in one of my favorites, Johnny Dangerously.
Hmm.
Was she really?
Yeah,
I only saw that movie one time.
really. I love Johnny Dangerously.
I really don't remember too much of it.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch that again. We watched. Jack loves it, man. He loves that movie. So we watched that movie. We were like always quoting Johnny Dangerously shit. Christopher Lloyd, hey Sparky, what's up, buddy? He was at the party. In fact, so was Dave. So was Jay. uh,
Yeah, it's like the only time I get to see Spark is whenever it's your birthday party.
That's
Aw.
true. It's our annual get-togethers. Who else? Actually, the whole cast of Taxi did well because then Tony Danza went on to play Tony in every other show he was in.
Mm-hmm.
After that, in
Yeah.
fact, he was Tony in that film, in that show, wasn't he?
Oh man,
Yep.
it's funny. I completely forgot that Tony Danza was in that. Was in it.
Yep.
Yeah. He was the boxer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Danza, who used to be a boxer slash dancer, plays a boxer slash dancer in everything he is in, and he's named Tony.
Except for, well, no, yeah, he was a boxer in Who's the Boss too.
Yeah, he was Tony.
Yeah.
And then he had a show called Tony, I think, after that. The lead guy in DC Cab was in Barney Miller, and the director played his wife in the movie. Everybody in DC Cab was like a big time comedian and shit. Oh, Jay, I love Johnny Dangerously. I could go Johnny Dangerously all day. She sang. Mary Lou Henner was the one in there who she was the girl who sang. You know, I wanna love dangerously. I wanna live dangerously.
Yeah.
She sang
Yeah.
the song to Johnny.
Yeah.
Who played the girl, the foreign girl? What's his face's girlfriend? The
And what?
Latka. Latka's in Taxi.
Oh,
Latka's girlfriend.
yeah, Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
She
She was
she was
Carl
so
on
funny.
Cheers. She
She
played
was
Carl on
awesome.
Cheers. Yeah. Yeah. You fucking asshole. Yeah, here we go. Dude, I actually thought about doing reenacting Roman Moroni's whatchamacallit. So do you remember? Well, you only saw it one time, but in Johnny Dangerously, there's this character, Roman Moroni, who's just butchering the English language, right? He's like, you fucking asshole, sons of beaches. He goes in front of Congress to testify, and they're asking him all these questions. He's like, dear fucking iceholes, you have violated my fucking rights, you sons of beaches. I was thinking about just reenacting that and doing it to Zuckerberg and then posting that to Facebook.
There you go.
You sons of beach iceholes, you fucking cockroaches. Yeah, that
Yeah,
movie is hysterical, man.
Not really,
deserves it.
really be, violating community standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. I'm not swearing. I'm not even swearing. But yeah, I love that movie, man.
Fucking iceholes.
Knock
Yeah.
down that wall, knock down that wall, and knock down that fucking wall. This means war.
Oh my god.
You also had in Johnny Dangerously, you had the guy who played Mr. Oh, what was the science teacher's name? Not Mr. Hand, he was the English teacher. Mr. Vargas. Remember Mr. Vargas in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? He was kind of like a goofy looking guy,
Yeah.
but he pops up in movies.
Mhm.
He popped up in Johnny Dangerously. He popped up in Night Shift. But he had he was one of the teachers, the science teacher in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, who had the hot wife.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the movie, like all the kids are like, He's married to that?
Another fucking movie that was fantastic, the Rodney Dangerfield one, Back to
Oh,
School.
yeah. Back to School.
Back
I
to
love that
school.
movie.
So
Sam,
call me when you have no class.
Yeah.
Sam in that movie was fantastic.
Yep.
My
The
favorite.
dialogue was good. Very clever.
Dude, Robert Downey Jr., he was like 15 in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was in that first or the other
Bueller.
one with Chet. Um,
Weird Science.
Weird Science. He was in one of those two first.
I'm pretty sure Weird Science came out first.
Because he wasn't even Robert Downey Jr. in that one. I think he was just Robert Downey in that one.
I'm not
And
really
then like
sure.
he added the junior somewhere along the way. But yeah, it was so weird to see him so young.
Oh, he was like the son's little flunky friend who was like
Yeah.
just dumb.
He was the anarchist
Yeah.
in the movie, right?
Yeah. But he had like what, 2 lines or something like that? He just stood
No,
around.
he kept popping in. He would constantly pop in and out of the movie.
But he wouldn't say anything though. Like he would pop in, but he would never say anything. Like it was always the son talking.
No, because remember he started the fight with the football team in the restaurant when they went into whatever McDonald's or whatever they were in.
Right.
Or a pizza shop, whatever it was, and he started the fight with the football team. I love that Rodney Dangerfield had the police bringing the beer to his parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, campus police will pull up.
Movies in so long, I can't remember half of them.
My favorite thing about Rodney Dangerfield was that he hosted that late night show where he gave all kinds of other comedians a break, right?
Yeah.
He had like Sam Kinison came through there and a whole host of other greats from the 80s.
Wow.
Oh, Rodney was classic, man. He was great. He was always like that though, even when he would show up on Johnny Carson. And Johnny, I miss Johnny. Out of all the late night shows, Johnny was by far my favorite.
Yeah.
And and I know I
never got into any of those shows. Those were annoying fuck to me.
Well, I liked Letterman when he was still on NBC. When he first came on the scene, he was very different. I liked Letterman, but then he went to CBS, and all of a sudden the show changed, and it wasn't quite the same. All of a sudden, he became establishment, where he played the sort of anti-establishment role on NBC.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was always established. You know, these guys, I mean, Johnny Carson, I'm sure was establishment. They all had their roles to play, right? To just distract the American people and get them, through comedy to go into a certain direction. But I would also say that Johnny just had better guests. The guests, when you got people like Dean Martin, right? And the Rat Pack, all the members of the Rat Pack coming on. And it was a whole different class of comedians. I mean, Dean will be out there drinking his whiskey and smoking his cigarettes, talking to him, Triple Lundy. There you go. The Triple Lundy. It was just, I don't know, man. It was just a whole different times in America. And again, knowing what we know now, when we look back to the 50s, 60s, I still look at that era as being a much more free time for humanity than it was when we were growing up, 80s and 90s and on. But
yeah, it was a classier time too. I mean, you could still be, like raunchy, but you had a classier way of doing it. It was just more.
Yeah, you didn't have to come out motherfucker this and that. You had to work your way around it, which actually made the jokes funnier, I think.
It did, and it was just more like, like you said, it was fun. It was classier, and it was more.
Well, you had to be clever. You had to be clever to get away with the jokes.
Right.
And I think that's the big difference. Now it's like we can't sink any lower. Girls are out there singing pop songs like "My pussy, pussy, my pussy, my." Like, okay,
I know.
Congratulations on your free speech, which is not really free speech, but free speech, if that's what you want to call it.
I was watching because Facebook does that stupid TikTok shit on your wall.
It is what?
Does that stupid TikTok shit.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So I was watching this girl like getting made up to look like a porn star, and they all look like fucking porn stars after they make themselves up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're like usually super unattractive, like they don't have teeth, and they're putting their falsies in and like fucking doing all this makeup, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, 99% of your beauty could be taken away with a wet wipe. It's not. It's fake.
That's not even my real concern. If I were a boy today, I mean, you reach down in a girl's panties and you whip out a bigger dick than yours. I mean, we're living in confusing fucking times, man. I mean, think about that. Jesus,
you're not supposed to get upset about that.
Right? Yeah, you say, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like, now you can say to the girl, like, "Are you just excited to see me?"
Oh my god.
Her skirt goes, whoop.
Ooh, no, just stop.
Oh god. And we probably just got shut off by YouTube.
Right?
I just had a vision of Michael.
I'm just so glad, man. I mean, I tell you what, there was a lot of fucked up shit in the 70s and 80s and 90s, but I'm so glad that I was around in that era. I really am, because I could appreciate the era before us, which I think was one of the best eras for comedy, entertainment, music, everything. You know what I mean? Like the 50s and 60s to me was great. Now, of course, we know about the whole counterculture, the 60s, how that was all just fake, right? It was all there to drive, acid into everybody's, mouth, and just to turn into a big giant fucking experiment and shit. But whatever, man. I'm on my MTV. I'm glad I was there for all that,
The thing is, though, like we got away with a lot of shit that's never going to be fucking seen again.
Oh, absolutely.
These kids these days, they'll never know anonymity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now everything's recorded. It's like they can hold it against you.
But I think, here's some of the things. Like, okay, so we had our show off idiots, and a lot of times I was one of them, right? Who would just do things on a dare or this and that. But I think the big difference between that and today's shit is today it's like on a global level. Like, you got a lot of people who want to one up somebody on the internet. So they're going to try to do something crazier than that person just to get likes or, attention, right? Whereas the shit we did was more organic. You know what I mean? Even though we did a lot of dumb shit. And again, we had Jews in space. There you go. Mel Brooks. My man. But yeah, they just and we would do a lot of dumb shit and be like, oh my God, I can't believe, Tom or Bob did this and that. But in today's day and age, if you do it, you could probably go on YouTube or wherever and find that like 50 other people have already done that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So I think the one thing is that the internet showed us that we're not as original as we think we are.
Yeah. Not at all.
And part of that could be because, like-minded people sort of think alike. And the other thing is that, you got 2 or 3 or 4 people who might have done something, and then you have all your copycats.
Yeah.
So that number is going to go from 3 or 4 who might have done it just organically, and then people see it online, and you end up with like 1,000 copycats.
Yeah, kind of like those people who are like the high-rise climbers.
Yeah, I love that shit, but I would have been one of them. I wish I would have thought of it, to be honest with you, back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved heights. I really did. I loved climbing heights, but I
like
never.
Okay, all right. I like heights if I know I'm in control of the situation as to what's going on up there. Like if you have a parachute or if you have a rope, I'm good. Like if I'm sitting up there on like a fucking mountain or something like that, and like you're like looking over, that's a little bit unsettling for me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always liked heights. Like I like that kind of stuff. I like just sitting at the edge, and just dangling your feet. That's cool. That was cool. Like I would do that down at the schoolyard all the time when I was young. I would climb all the way up to the very top of the chimney and just sit there and gaze towards Squirrel Hill, and it was nice. It looked, it was just, for me, it was very peaceful up there. Like I would go up there and just sit, and it's not as noisy. You hear more the wind than anything else up there.
Yeah.
And then you can see like police cars in the distance and this and that,
What I'm saying, like if I would be more unsettled by that than like having a rope and like leaning off the side of a cliff. You know what I mean?
Right, gotcha.
But if my
bungee jumped then 3 times. I did. Well, I did. You know what? Actually, no, I didn't bungee jump. I rappelled. Right. We talked about that in one of the last lives.
Rappelling is a lot of fun.
I liked it. I had a lot of fun. That was really a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I told you guys about whenever Chubb and I stood in line at Geauga Lake waiting to bungee jump, right?
we were talking about the helicopter crash when I saw whenever we were rappelling off of Mount Yona in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
But did I tell you whenever Chubb and I stood in line to bungee jump at Geauga Lake?
No.
Uh,
All right,
don't
so I have
think
an ex-girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, longtime ex-girlfriend. When she was going to college in summer, she would get a job dancing at Geauga Lake to earn credits towards her dancing. So like when she go to New York City and audition for something, like there's a point system, right?
Okay.
So you had a if you wanted to audition for any, say, Broadway show, you had to have an X amount of points before you could go and audition.
Mhm.
And in this show, they might say, like, okay, we're looking for some extras in the background. You must have 10 points, right? Because you're just an extra. But if you want to audition to be like a lead role, then you'll need like 150 points.
Right.
And these are like you would. So in the summer, she would go dance at Geauga Lake and she'd earn points, credits, right? That she can use later when she graduates. So she was doing that. So Chubb and I, she's like, yeah, why don't you guys come up? So she got us free passes into Geauga Lake. We get there like park open like 9:30 or something like that. So we get in line and they're already
Doing my French fries.
aha. So the line is already like, I don't know, we're like number 180 or something in line, right? So the people go around, they're counting how many people. And then at some point they said, okay, up to here, you guys will all get to jump. From this point to this point, you know, you might get to jump. And from this point to that point, you're probably not going to get to jump. So just basically they're telling you, like, if you're in that point, you're so far back in line that
It's
chances
probably not.
are you're not going to jump, right? You're going to run out of daylight. So we're like, fuck, 180. We were like way in the back. You know what I mean? We weren't going to jump, but we're standing in line. Then a storm came out of nowhere. Like it rained cats and dogs for like 10 minutes. So everybody scatters, everybody hides. You know, we're under a canopy. Well, the storm comes to an end. Chubb and I are like, all right, let's go. So we run back up. We moved way back up in the line. We were literally like, we moved up like 80 spots, you know?
Yeah.
So we're standing in line all day, right? We're taking turns, like going to get food, going to take a leak, whatever, right? Holding each other's line. We get there all day long. We are in line. It was like 95 degrees. It was hot as shit. We get there. The person in front of me, because it was the person in front of me, they cut us off. They said, okay, no more jumpers for the day.
Wow.
Dude, I
no.
was so fucking mad. And I can't tell you.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many. There were at least almost a dozen. Well, I'll say like 10 women who were taken up and they chickened out. And they're sitting up there and some of them started crying and shit. Because, I mean, it is still high, right? They were up on cranes. So you're still going off height. You know, that bag that's down below still only looks like that big. Right? And, you know, they wasted, each one of them easily wasted about 10 minutes. And with each one of them that went up there and did this, the crowd got uglier and uglier.
Yeah,
to the point where we're down there like, throw that bitch off, fuck her, get her down. Because we all wanted to jump, man. And these people are like, they're fucking killing our time. We're like, we're losing daylight. Toss her in the lake, you know? So literally, I mean, if it wasn't for those chicks, we would have definitely got the jump.
Right.
So we never got to jump. We stood in line all day, dehydrated. We're like,
this is some
so
bullshit.
we're so mad. And you know what the worst thing is? There was still about a half an hour of daylight left. And they cut us off and they allowed, like, I don't know, friends of the CEO or whoever. They were like people on the inside with their kids to jump.
Wow. What a dick. What a dick.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if America was as gun happy as foreigners think as we are, those women would have got shot. All right. They were gonna Yosemite Sam up there like which, by the way, actually leads me into the topic I did want to talk about. I got friends overseas in Australia, you know, in England, different spots, Canada. Well, Canada's not overseas, but you know, you get my point.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing more and more posts, not necessarily from them per se, but from foreigners saying, why do Americans need guns?
Right.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot myself.
And I've seen a lot of them coming out of Australia and New Zealand. And I'm like, are you motherfuckers
ask a stupid question like that with just what they just went through? Seriously.
That's a mind-boggling thing to me. Like, how can you be that fucking dumb? You know, and I saw, did you see the one, they made a meme out of it, where the one guy, I think it was an Australian guy, asked, like, you know, why, I'm in Australia, I only have one question. Why do you need guns?
Yeah.
And somebody jumped in, is like, said something to the effect, so we don't end up in gulags like you guys, or something to that effect, right?
Yeah. Because it's better to have a gun and not need it than need a gun and not have it. That's why.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is, see, I think here's the difference. Every country has a constitution. Pretty much every country around the world has a constitution. But I think the thing that these people don't understand, and I didn't either until I moved to America and learned about it, right? Is the difference between every other country's constitution and ours is that in our constitution, all of our rights and powers are given to us by God.
Mm-hmm.
Your constitution in every other country, I don't care where you are, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in Mexico, whether you're in anywhere in Europe,
corporation.
Anytime the government, all your powers are given to you by people in the government. And that can be taken away anytime they feel like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, are they trying to take away our powers, you know, and our constitution?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And the only reason this world has not been completely taken over is because of the United States Constitution. It is why you're going to see more false flags this summer than probably ever before.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see riots.
Yep.
You're going to see gas shortages. You're going to see food shortages. You're going to see just all kinds of havoc. They're going to wreak havoc on us in any way you can. And what people need to understand is that when I say false flag shootings, people die in false flags. 9/11 was the biggest false flag in American history.
Yep.
What, 3,600 people or whatever, almost 4,000 people were killed.
No, almost 3,000.
Yeah, whatever it is. But it doesn't, they don't give a shit about us, and they don't give a shit about our kids.
Nope.
If they can kill our children to further their agenda,
they're
gladly going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you saw in Texas.
They're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And foreigners need to understand this, okay? Because I'm getting sick and tired of these idiots going, America, why don't you just get rid of your guns? I'm like, because your dumbasses in Australia, New Zealand did, and what happened to your ass? Okay? What's going on in Germany? Look what the government's doing to Germany. You know, it's like those governments have run amok.
What's there?
I'm sorry?
What's going on in Germany? What did I miss there?
Oh, there have been all kinds of lockdowns all over the damn place. If you look at most of the parts of the world, still have lockdowns going on today. Look at China.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally, those people are locked inside their apartments, not allowed to leave. They're starving them to death.
Yeah.
That shit ain't going to happen here. Okay.
Then we definitely have the Second Amendment on right. And, actually the Pennsylvania gun right is even stronger than the Second Amendment. It says that the right to bear arms shall not be questioned.
Under any circumstance. Under any circumstance. Right. And I love, and I love when people are like, well, the founding fathers couldn't possibly have foreseen weapons like we have today. I'm like, oh, really? Like, these morons don't understand that they had Gatling gun in 1775. It existed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a prototype, but it was there. I'm pretty sure they understood the concept of mass destruction. I'm pretty sure that they foresaw that, we're going to have guns more powerful than fucking muskets. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, my one friend actually texted me from Canada and said, why do you need, an assault rifle and this and that? I'm like,
why not? An assault rifle? There is no such thing.
I agree. But I just wrote back, why not? I said, if I could own one, I would fucking buy a hypersonic missile. Just because I can. Okay.
I mean, everybody says an AR-15 is an assault rifle. No, it isn't.
Yes, it's not. It's a semi-automatic. It's like a 22, basically. So go in.
You're wrong.
Go into that. Use an AR-15 to go in a battle and see how quickly you get fucked up.
Exactly.
But here's the thing that you don't understand.
What?
You actually can. You could take because.
No, you can convert it, but it's not. What I'm saying is the shit you buy.
No. It's ours.
Huh?
The thing about it is, like, here's what people, when they talk about assault rifles, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Okay,
Right.
Of
because
course not.
an assault rifle, it's not the rate of fire unless you're talking about a machine gun. Okay,
Right.
whenever you're in war, the last thing you want to do is sit there with your fucking your trigger pulled down and you expend all your ammunition
Right.
like that. The dumbest shit ever. You
Mhm.
want to go. You don't even want to go a burst. You don't even want to do a 3-shot burst. You want to do
Right.
a single
Mhm.
shot. That way you
Yeah.
know exactly where every round that you're shooting is where it's going.
And you can
And
Mhm.
count it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
No, I
like,
mean,
but like the AR we have
right. Right. And the Uzi is actually an
aim
Israeli weapon. The
6,
Uzi. The
which is
Uzi is an Israeli weapon, which was actually developed to fight in caves.
yeah,
When they had the Arab-Israeli war, they needed because the many of the Arabs had bases hidden inside mountains, and they were
yeah.
close quarter fighting. So an Uzi
Mhm.
isn't necessarily for you wouldn't want it for a battlefield. That's
No, it's
just
prey and prey.
yeah, just hit whatever's around. That's it.
Yeah,
So that's what that was for. Um,
but
so look, here's the thing, and this is what people around the world need to understand: the genie's out of the bottle. The moment the Chinese invented gunpowder, and that first cannon, whatever was fired, the genie was out of the bottle. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's idiotic to demand the people to give up the guns, the good people to give up the guns because a couple criminals use it in a certain way. Why don't we look at what those criminals are doing? First of all, most of these assholes, like this trans idiot, right, who shot up the school in Texas, the CIA and FBI both knew about him. They knew
Mhm.
full well who he was. He had a shootout with the police, and he had an altercation with the police on the way to the school. Then, who leaves the back door open for him to be able to walk in?
I didn't follow the story because I don't follow
Oh,
that shit.
it was a false flag, Wayne. It was a false flag. Your typical false flag.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
saying people didn't die, but
I'm
that's what it was.
asking you. You just said that he had a shootout with the police. Was that
He
before
had,
he went to school?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they heard. I mean, in the school they could hear the boom, boom, the guns go off, right? So why was the door open for him? The only door that doesn't have a camera, the only door in the entire school was left open that didn't have a camera. Every other door every other door has a camera by it. I mean, it's hard to find a school that doesn't have camera system nowadays, right?
Right.
They're everywhere.
Why
You
did
know.
the cops take 40 minutes to get there?
Well, yeah, that's another thing. The police really dragged their feet in getting there. And then did you see that some of the parents were arrested who were trying to go into the school to rescue their children?
That,
One of them died.
what?
One of the parents that tried to get in, somehow he died. Trying
It's
to get
it's it's
into the
crazy.
school to get his daughter or son out. I forget. I think daughter.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole thing again, it just screams false flag.
Look,
And
this thing about that, and it really upset me, especially when. Look, if you're not going to do your job, I heard the whole story about them not going in for like an hour or something. Blah blah
yeah,
blah.
Mhm.
You're
Yep.
not. If you don't want me to enter that building and go after my kids to make sure my kids are safe,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to shoot me.
well, that's basically I think what might have went down.
I mean,
You
because
I'm
know,
afraid
you,
that may have happened.
I mean, you know how I feel about my kids.
of course,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Look, I mean, again, but
nothing is
you
stopping
look
me
at
from.
every single time you have one of these shooters, they're like some liberal loony.
Mhm.
Every one of these shootings, it's never like a Trump person, your MAGA person, your responsible gun owner. It's always some little loony MK Ultra experiment motherfucker.
Yeah. And
You
then they
know,
come back and talk about gun violence. Like I've never seen a gun to be violent. I'm sorry.
right,
Seriously.
right. And then you know what?
Yeah.
It's actually what's really wild is the only mass shooting under Trump was the Vegas one. And
Right.
we know what the Vegas one wasn't in that was there to take out what's his name Suleiman
Big guy. Yeah.
bin Suleiman
Yeah.
from bin Suleiman is the prince in Saudi Arabia who Trump put into power.
Right.
So he was in Vegas and they were gonna fucking kill him. That's what that Vegas shooting was about. But Trump's people found out about it, gave him a heads up, so he fucking hightailed it out of there.
Mhm.
So they said, fuck it. We had all the guns in place. So they just went ahead and they said, do it, go live, start shooting people. And my friend Danielle, who was a cab driver in Vegas at the time, she was there when the whole thing went down. She was at the concert, which was, by the way,
Wow.
in the same hotel I was in, like, months later. And
Well,
I was literally from the hotel room where I was, I could see where the 32nd floor, whatever the hell floor he was on, was.
mm,
And I could see the pyramid was right across, and the parking lot where the shooting supposedly happened and all that shit. And she told me straight up, she's like, I saw people dressed in all black just running around shooting people, walking around shooting people on the ground.
my
So
God.
yeah, I mean, that was a hit on Bin Suleiman. So
Wow.
even
Yeah.
when it's framed to be a Trump supporter, they highlight a bunch of National Socialist ideologies the shooter has, which, if they didn't know, was far left extremism. Right, Sparky? Yeah, I mean, they always immediately come out and try to paint this person as a right wing
Mhm.
loony. And then,
Mhm.
within like 10 minutes, you find out, oh, some fucking left wing MK Ultra whack job.
Right.
You know, I mean, look who is committing most of the violence in this country. I'm not saying pick left or right, but where's most of the violence coming from in this country? Who are all these peaceful riots? They're not coming from the right.
Mm-mm.
They're not responsible gun owners. You got
Right.
most of your people on the right work, they got day jobs. They're fucking working. All they want to do is pay their bills and, raise their children and shit and put food on the table. And on the left, they're the ones that are constantly screaming like, oh, yeah, we want free this, free that. We demand free everything. So they're rioting, fucking burning down cities and shit with George Soros money. You know, the ideologies are just, they are what they are. you know. And again, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of everything the right does, but by far, the left has gone completely loony. The left is completely fucking nuts. The left has completely been bought and paid for by the enemies of the United States. You look at the Democrat Party, completely gone.
Talking.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
And you got about half, at least half, you got all the rhinos on the right hand side who are
Yep.
part of it. Like you saw the bill that they just fucking passed, a $40 billion bill, because, we don't need help here, but,
Right.
let's send the hush money to fucking Ukraine, my favorite country, you
Mhm.
know, $40 billion of hush money to Ukraine. And,
Mhm.
how much of that is going to be funneled back to all these assholes who voted yes on the bill?
Like 95%.
Right. you know?
The one thing that scares me, like, is if that bill passes that Biden's trying to get thrown in right now, where it gives the World Health Organization executive.
Oh,
WTO.
that's going to happen. That's going to absolutely happen. You don't even have to worry about it. It's absolutely happening because it has to
Yeah.
happen.
He's gonna
They
sign it.
have to show us. They're showing us everything that in their
Mhm.
16-year plan. They're showing it all to us in this like 2-year plan. It's all been
Mhm.
crunch. That's why look how crazy times are. Like, whatever we're talking about now is old news. Probably by the time I get off the internet and check the news, they're already like 3 stories ahead,
Oh,
right?
they're totally speeding things up.
Oh yeah, it's fucking nuts. So that I guarantee you that's going to happen. The WHO is going to take over because it has to, right?
Well,
It's
I'd
part of
love.
their plan.
All I'm saying is, I'd love to see them try to disarm America. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, well that's not going to happen. So let's put it this way: the blue hats couldn't even handle countries like Uganda
Or Somalia.
or Somalia or any other country that in Africa that they had to go into. They couldn't handle those countries. What are they going to do when they come into the United States, where they're like 5 times more guns than people? And here's the thing that people don't even think about. Okay, think about the biggest organizations that we have that are gun nuts, right? Bloods, Crips, Hell's Angels, Pagans, all the motorcycle gangs,
Yeah.
organized crime mafias, all these different fringe groups, right? Who basically do business with a gun. All the UN coming here is going to do is unite them against a common enemy. I'm not going to say they're going to agree on everything in the politics, but it's not going to be like when the white man rolled in here and the Indians couldn't unite, right? It's the only reason. It's the only reason the English actually took over this country from the Indians, because the Indians couldn't unite. They were too busy fighting and killing each other. If
Mhm.
they would have united, they had the white man outnumbered 100-1.
Mhm.
Okay. But they refused to unite. That's why they lost the country. That ain't going to happen. You got these organized criminal organizations. They're about business. Okay. They're smart enough to understand, okay, we've got a common enemy, the UN or China or whatever it is. They are going to be fighting back. All your motorcycle gangs, your fucking Bloods, Crips, all those gangs, right? You got your your white supremacy groups, your black supremacy groups. You've got your mafia, all the different mafias, right? You got the Italian mafia, you got the Russian mafia, you got all these other mafias making money in here, the Jamaicans. You think they're going to fucking sit by and allow to lose all that money?
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. I'm telling you right now. So, and that doesn't even include all the farmers and, all the other, normal, like, gun owning
Country
citizens.
boys.
Right. Yeah. The country boys and all that shit. That's not even them. So,
And
then,
women.
and
And
by
the
the way,
girls.
not to forget, we've got like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of veterans who know how to organize.
Mhm.
Who know how to fight in cities, know how to fight out on open land. They know how to organize. They know how to take care of shit like that. And now they've got home field advantage. So if you thought the U.S. military had a hard time in Vietnam and Korea,
Look at
imagine,
Afghanistan. Afghanistan, we lost. Let's
right,
put it.
right. But what I'm saying is, if you, look, we didn't lose. Okay, if we went in and just you talk about the war going in, we fucked shit up. But I don't give a shit how big your empire is. You're not going to conquer people for a long time.
No.
At some point, you lose conquest. Going in and fucking shit up is easy. The hard part is conquering them. The Romans, they'll be the first one to tell you.
Well, that's why they're chipping us, though, Attila.
Well, that's what they want to do, but it ain't going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. You got your lemmings who are going to run over. Oh, can I have a fourth booster shot? And give me that chip too. You're going to have them, and that's fine. They can have their heart attacks. They can have their blood clots.
Calm down.
The chip was in a second shot anyway. It's in there already.
Let me talk. Yeah. So after you guys get off, after we all get off the live tonight, I want you guys to go look up and see how the gas card thing in California is going.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
The what?
Yeah.
They're giving
away gas cards for guns.
Gas cards to turn your guns in.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true in California, yeah. I don't think it's doing very well, though.
Yeah, I know it's... No,
absolutely. From what I remember, I mean, they only had maybe a few thousand people or something like that to turn in their guns.
That.
Yeah.
A $50... how much does a gun cost?
I don't know. I mean, a few $100s,
It depends on what you're getting.
Yeah, it depends
on what you're getting. I mean, you can get a handgun probably for like, $250, but if you're getting, a super duper, that's going to cost you a few thousand easy.
Yeah.
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 I'm going to say a little bit more than that, guys.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it depends on the weapon, right?
Right.
But the point is, like, why you could just, if you really want to sell your gun and get gas money, just fucking put it up on,
eBay.
Yeah, eBay or whatever, right? You got to make 100 times that. Can't get a decent gun for less than $1,000. Nicer rifles can be $3,000 to $5,000 easy, right? So
you can get a nice Beretta for a few hundred, like $600-700.
Well, you can probably buy some.
That's just a pussy 9mm. You don't want a Beretta.
Still works.
You have one.
Look, the bottom line is because of our Constitution. The United States Constitution is the only reason your dumb liberal ass in Western Europe has any kind of freedom. Okay? You can, these people really, they buy into this shit. Like, we have the same Constitution as you. I actually had this conversation with a Bulgarian ex-chick that I dated 10 years ago. And she was like, we have a Constitution too. I'm like, is it like the U.S. Constitution? She's like, yes. I said, read it carefully.
No. Yeah.
See, that's
where do your rights come from?
Look, a lot of people that go on about the Constitution, I can tell you first and foremost, I never read the damn thing.
And nobody has.
Even nobody has. That's the problem.
No. Well, then also...
I have, because when we came over, I had to read it in school.
Well, it depends on which Constitution you're reading, too, damn it. If you're looking
I read whatever U.S. Constitution they gave us in school to read.
Yeah,
the original one. The original, you get your rights from God, straight directly from the Bible. Genesis, right there. But if you're looking at the corporate, it's like, no, you're beholding to the corporation. You're a slave, basically. You're
That one.
done
Right,
with
but what
it.
I'm saying is, when
14
we read it in
Amendment
school,
citizen.
right at St. Stephen's, when we read that stuff, it was like reading any other book. You talk about it with your teachers, and the
Right,
teachers explained that our rights come from God.
right.
Amber Heard lawyers say if the jury supports Depp, they're against the First Amendment. God, that
What?
that court case
Let's
talking
not talk
about the
about
Amber
the court
Heard
case.
and
That's the most ridiculous fucking shit. I don't want to follow it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want
uh
nothing.
no, but
Fuck
they love
dumb shit.
using that shit to distract people from
Well,
like
you took.
what's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Exactly.
Why isn't that? I want to see that's the one I want to see.
Mm,
You know.
yeah, no, you got
Um,
Johnny Depp.
Meanwhile, they're hiding as much of the John Durham stuff as they possibly can.
Mhm.
They don't want all the shit that he's stirring up coming out.
It's literally ridiculous. Like you just go on your social media feed. It's all about that goddamn Johnny Depp case.
I
I don't
know.
want
Mhm.
to hear about it anymore. Just
Yeah.
shut the fuck up about. I don't care. Those people
Yeah.
have nothing to do with my life,
Right.
and I have nothing to do with theirs. So
No,
Well,
I don't give a fuck.
I'm trying to think. I think the
pretty
last
much.
celebrity trial I actually paid attention to was the OJ one.
Mm.
That
I
was a
didn't even
big one.
that one.
Huh? No, I
I
did. I mean, I
that one.
paid attention to that one. But after that, well, we didn't really have another big one after that for a while. And then, 9/11 came along. And like I said, that was my eye opener. That's when I realized how to use this shit to just distract us from what's really going on. You know,
Right.
anytime you see a big celebrity story prop somewhere, they did something
Something else
somewhere else.
going on somewhere else. Yeah,
Yeah, they
exactly.
either stole money from you or stole a little bit more of your rights
Yeah, that's what happened.
or both. Yeah. Um, I like it because when I went through a similar situation with my ex, so I want to see Amber BY. Yeah, well, if you got caught up in a court case, man, I feel bad for you. I was caught up as a third party in mine because my ex-wife was in a big fight with her ex, and oh my God, did it get messy? Jesus Christ, I
Oh,
got caught up in the
goodness.
whole thing, and yeah,
Wow.
well, look, the attorneys. So when you go through a divorce, both sides of the attorneys sit down and figure out how much money they can take from you. And then they're going to drag out the case as long as they possibly can. And they're going to use, if you have kids, they're going to use them against you because everything they do is in the best interest of the child, even though
Yeah,
they
right.
couldn't give a fuck about your child.
Mhm.
But they will
Right.
use them as hostage. They will get you to
Yeah.
hate each other as much as possible to the point where you're ready to go over and shoot her and she's ready to blow up your house.
Hi, honey.
This is how it works. I literally got a first front row seat for it. And then I met a guy named Dennis who actually only had a sixth. Oh, I talked about him at the party, Wayne. He had a sixth grade education, my buddy Dennis, and he learned how to defend himself in court.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, and he went around and really he taught other people how to defend themselves pro se. And he taught Karen and me how to go in and beat these attorneys pro se. And it was brilliant. I mean, when we first went in and did it ourselves, and it was, obviously Karen was the one representing herself in court because I can't represent her, neither could Dennis. But he would coach her what to do, and I would try to build up her confidence. That's how we did it, right?
Mhm.
And but the key is that you have to hold the attorneys to facts because they love to argue silliness.
Mhm.
That's their big thing. That's their trickery. That's their sleight of hand is they will argue silliness shit that has absolutely no bearing with anything. But now you can bring in witnesses and you can run up more money. And before you know it, you're flat broke. I mean, it's yes, like Andy says, it's all semantics. And here's another thing that many attorneys do. They carry a fake copy of the law book. They have a fake copy of the law book that will have shit not the right way. So when they argue something, it'll say in there that the law says this and this and this. But what you do then is you ask the court to go down into the prothonotary or the library and you want to look at their law book.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually caught this his attorney doing this shit, and
Hmm.
we actually caught him red-handed doing it. And guess what happened to him? Nothing.
Of
The courts
course.
were like, oh, okay, well,
Hmm.
but we found the real law and we showed it, and the judge said, okay, you win. And, Karen won that day.
Hmm.
Another thing they try is a little trick that they'll pull is they send you, you know how they're supposed to send you a summons or whatever it's called, right? You get in the mail a notification of when you have to appear in court.
Yeah.
Well, often what they will tell you
They
what to
summoned the
do,
dead.
huh?
They summoned the dead.
Yeah, right. No, no, but I mean, so here's what they do, right? You have to get a
Yeah, I mean,
notification to go to
literally
court.
summon the dead. We're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
corporation.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
we're dead.
But let's not confuse people with all that
Yeah.
because that's going to confuse them.
Let's
So
stick
let's
to
just keep it simple, right? So you get your notification on when to appear in court. But instead of sending you that, what they'll do is they will send you a list of complaints of stupid shit that has nothing to do with anything, right? So you get that, it's certified, it comes in the mail and it's certified. So you open it and you're like, oh, well, this is stupid. This has nothing to do with anything. You don't show up to court because you never got these summons that you're supposed to get. So
Hmm.
they automatically win because you didn't show up. This is why it's
Mhm.
important to check the docket. Always check. Karen was very good at checking the docket, making sure.
Mhm.
And she actually caught them doing this too. She was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be in court on, this weekend. Meanwhile, they sent us something fake and it was certified. So when they go into court, they can argue that, oh, we sent them the notice. Look, here's the certified
Mhm.
letter. We sent the notice. But the notice wasn't in there. It's something else that has nothing to do with anything. So I hope somebody's listening and is actually writing this shit down because I guarantee you, if you didn't go through it, you might at some point. So
right.
just think, always check the docket, and always, if your opposing counsel whips out his law book and says it's right here, it's blah blah blah, then it is your right to ask the judge to go down into the library, the court's library, and look at the real law. And you're gonna find out more often than not that this is a little semantics they're trying to play here. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not what it
They
says at all.
always twist everything anyway. So
Oh, it's a big
yeah.
show, man. You go in
Yeah.
there and it's a big show. And
But
and of
there's
course, we go in there, right? It's not our home turf. So when we go in there, we're at a disadvantage. We're not comfortable there. I was never comfortable in there,
right.
you know. As confident as I am, and I can debate with anybody. When you go in front of a judge and all that shit, the game changes. And all of
Well,
a
you
sudden you go in
have
and
to
you're
know.
like,
You have to know how to go there.
well,
You
not only
can't.
that, but
Yeah.
not only that, but you have to be comfortable being there. Okay. These lawyers, that's what they do. Okay. If I throw you on a football field and I tell you, okay, go now, you get to play quarterback with the New England Patriots, you're going to be fucking lost. You've never been on a
Hmm.
football field, right? So you're not going to be completely confident in that environment. So it's the
Yeah,
same
and
thing. You're just at their football field.
they can't even hear you. They can't even talk to you because you're basically you're dead. So to them, so
Yeah.
it takes 3 signatures to convict you, right?
I don't know. I didn't know that. Does it?
Takes three
Okay.
signatures. Yep.
Yeah. No, but I
Judge,
mean, as far as
the
representing
judge,
yourself
your
pro se, you
lawyer,
can.
and you, and they always get the 3 signatures. Your
Right,
judge,
right, right. Yeah.
if
I
you don't
wish I
sign
could.
it,
I would hire
yeah.
Captain Sparrow's attorney, though, not for looks, but because she kicks ass. Well, how's she look? I don't even know how she looks. I am curious now. Add the pressure
Mhm.
of your potential freedom on top. Right, exactly. So it's like literally you're going in to play, Peyton Manning in a game of football, and you've never been on a football field.
Right.
So, when you're representing pro se, they really. Oh, she is hot. Okay, good. Um, but when you represent yourself, you know, like if you did it like Dennis said he got his ass kicked over and over and over to the point where like he would show up and he would know everybody there. And
Mm.
judges would come by and, hey, Mr. McKee, you're back again. you know.
Yeah.
So
So
but eventually he learned again.
that's one of the things that you learn as a state national or a sovereign citizen. You learn how to talk to them, and
Yeah.
they will have to talk to you because you're not a dead entity anymore. You're a live man or woman, and they have no authority over you. So
Right.
whatever you
But
tell them is how it is.
yeah, but the point is that you better have your T's
I
crossed
know.
and I's dotted
Yep.
and know what
Yep.
the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
Because
and
if you go
Absolutely.
in and
a
you're one of those
little
weekend warrior freedom
south.
lovers,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
And
that'll
I
get
heard it from a friend that blah blah blah. No, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Right.
exactly.
I wish, you know what? I
Mhm.
wish I could find Dennis though, because you guys love him as an interview. He's just, first of all, he's a character to begin with. I mean, think about this: sixth grade education, former Marine, fought in Vietnam, and
Mm,
hates the system and fights against it. And he helps. He helped a lot of people. He actually helped a mentally disabled woman get her child
mm.
back. The state
Wow.
tried to take her child,
Wow.
They,
and
yeah, they do that
yeah, oh, of course, and they
a
tried to
lot.
take her child. Yeah, and he got her back for her. He got her child back. So, Dennis is
Yeah.
a really good dude.
There's.
And he doesn't, he's one of these guys who's like, yeah, if you want to throw me a couple bucks, cool. So we would throw him 100, 200, whatever we were able to scrape
Mhm.
together just because he helped us so much,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
and he's a good guy.
that's the other thing
Well,
that the CPS does. They take your kids and they have no right because they have to go through certain steps before they can take your kids. And most people don't know that.
Well, that's the thing. Usually when somebody in authority shows up,
Mhm.
you're at a
Knees
disadvantage.
are buckling and you're shaking and you can't,
Well,
if you have a
it's not
comes
necessarily that
back,
that's happening. It's
you
not
don't know
even
your
necessarily all
rights.
that, but yeah, you don't know, right?
Yep.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So, you know, now you're thrown into an arena where you
Mhm.
don't know the rules. Again, this goes back to, your whole life you're being taught the game of hungry, hungry hippos, and then you get out of high
Yep.
school, now the world's playing Monopoly, and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yep.
Camille Vasquez. I guess that's his attorney, Camille Vasquez.
Is he okay? You all right?
yeah.
Still allergies?
yeah.
Oh
Somebody
no.
else, Mark Z was complaining about his allergy attacks.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having he had Mr. C on there. I love do you watch Mark Z, Magdalene?
I do once in a while, not a lot.
I
I
like
think
Mark.
I
Usually
saw
when I
him.
get up, usually when I get up and I go down to make some food before I work out, I have him on.
Did I
Um,
see him this morning? No, yesterday morning I put him on.
well, Fridays he has Mr. C on. COVID
Okay.
22. Yeah, Mr. C is great because I forget his name offhand, his full name, but he was fantastic. I like the guy because he's a straight shooter, and he worked for the Bushes, and the Bushes fucked him over big time. They stole all kinds of money from him. He fucking hates the Bushes, and somebody brought that up on the call yesterday, and you could tell that was almost like Chubb, like they pressed a hot button, and he ranted about the Bushes and then
Mm,
he went into like. Somebody said something about white hats and black hats. He's like, there is no white hats, okay? All these guys who are even supposedly white hats, they all worked for the Bushes. So
wow.
there is no white hats and black hats. There's just a whole lot of
That's
different gray.
scary. I
Huh?
don't want to think that. That's
No, I
scary.
mean,
Speaking
no.
of, speaking of, when was the last time you went to a store with your brother?
I don't know. It's been a while. Why is that?
It was quite an adventure going to the Giant Eagle with him before we got to your house. Let's just put it that way.
Why was he doing his mask?
No, he was fucking going off about everything. Everything.
You
I
know?
was like, I don't know this guy.
Well, you should have been. I wish I could have been there the first day when the whole fucking lockdown COVID mask bullshit started, and he tried to
Oh
go in the
my
Giant
god.
Eagle, and they wouldn't
Yeah,
let him in, so he got
he
in a
act-
fucking argument.
he told me this story while we were in Giant Eagle, like passing all the managers and stuff. It was pretty funny.
Well, you know what the best part of Chubb is though is like his story. He doesn't know how to just tell a story. He gets super emotional,
Very,
and yeah,
very.
he doesn't know how to just tell the story of what happened. He literally relives it,
Aw.
Exactly.
and he gets all
Like a,
fired up
he's
like
like
he
a
was.
he's like a busted ass fucking Vietnam vet sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's funny, man, because I'm like, I gotta be like, dude, calm down,
Calm
calm
down.
down.
So, did you guys teach Wayne some Hungarian?
We did
Not so.
not. We did not. We did not.
No.
We're gonna have to give. You know what? We got to give George Soros a Hungarian message though. One of these days, be like
Yeah.
Soros Justi Baci, Sobda Fosoma Tadisno. Meg már a pokolba, ahol az ahol az anyád van. Te
Yeah,
kurva, picsa, bolond. Minél
yeah,
hamarabb fölakasszák, annál jobb az egész világnak.
az igaz. Nagyon igaz. But
Wayne is
we
like,
have to,
what?
you guys have to teach Wayne a couple words.
Yeah. Well,
I'll try.
Buzz Meg is a must for all who want to
Oh
speak
yeah,
Hungarian.
absolutely. That's no question about that,
Yeah.
Wayne. You have to learn that one.
Sparky's like, fucking aye, you better get mad.
It's like buzzed Meg.
Yeah, Buzz Meg. It's like loosely, I guess it would be like fuck you, but it's
Yeah.
really not, but it kind of is.
Kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't actually have a fuck you. So
No.
Buzz Meg is about as close as it gets.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Hungarian swearing is much uglier than
It's
like
awesome.
English. Yeah, even like words like cunt in English, where people are like, "Ah, cunt." I'm like, if you think that's bad, you ought to hear the Hungarian swearing. It's like cunt is the nice way of saying something. Yeah, it's
I don't want to say it.
but I like to call Mr. George Soros Guri because Soros means shitty.
Yeah. Yep. Soros
Yeah,
Judy, yeah.
his name is Soros. It's actually, is it Soros or is it Soros? Now, I don't remember how it's spelled.
Soros.
It's just
Soros.
S-O, right? So it'd be Soros.
Yeah,
Soros.
Soros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soros, like my pants are tight. Soros.
Soros.
Yeah. So
I don't even, I mean, that's a Hungarian name. I
don't know. I like to
know he's
really,
Hungarian, but
I like to remind him. And by the way, take your fucking son Alex with you, to piece of
oh
shit.
yeah, God.
Yeah, take him too.
Um,
I basically told him he could basically go to hell with his whore mother and that kind of stuff.
pretty much.
The
Yeah.
sooner the better. I want to see him dangle from a noose, all that kind of stuff. I'm telling this in his own language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I get upset, like, with Seb Gorka or Steve Hilton, I start swearing at them in Hungarian Facebook.
Yeah.
I never get an answer, but at least I said my thing.
That would be funny. I mean, it would be really funny to see, because I never thought about, like, if I swear all over the place and if I talk
Hungarian.
about
Oh.
yeah, like Mr. George and his buddies dangling from a noose, in Hungarian, would Facebook
Yeah,
imprison me?
I think, yeah, they would
Probably.
censor you. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, take your nephew or whatever the fuck he is to you with you too.
Aw.
Zuckerberg. Isn't he
Yeah.
like a nephew or something of George Soros or one of them? He's somehow blood related to these assholes. He's another piece of shit.
They're all freaking related. They're,
Yeah, fucking
either
Data
by
from Star Trek
either
and
by
shit.
marriage or by what.
Yeah, wasn't thinking that word wasn't what I thought. Okay.
Which one? The
Yeah, I
buzz
don't know
meg.
which one Dave's referring to. Cunt, maybe. I would imagine that he would understand that word. I'm pretty sure he didn't understand a word in Hungarian. Even all the times he's been to my house. It's funny because I
But
got
yeah.
many of my childhood friends who were here like every day. They understand like Nem vagyok éhes
Uh-huh.
and Buzz Meg, of course, they all know that one.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg, yeah, right. What was Nem vagyok éhes. It's so funny though, because none of them, they're like Nem vagyok éhes. Like they can't say it. Like Hungarian is really tough on the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're born into it, like my brother struggles because he was 3.5 when we left, right? So as soon as we left Romania, we went to Austria. Then he and I were like talking German to one another, and then when we came here, we started talking English to one another. So he never, like, at least I went through 5th grade in Romania in the Hungarian school. So I can read, write, not very well, but I read, write at like a 5th grade level, right? Chubb has 0. Like he wasn't even in kindergarten,
Yeah.
So, but it's you think like foreigners speak English? You think that's funny? You should hear foreigners trying to speak in Hungarian.
Hungarian.
That's fucking hysterical. It is. And I love it when they do it in a movie, right? They get the actor has like one line to say in Hungarian.
And he
Because
always
I have to run
messes
I
it
have to
up.
run it back over
It's
and over
always
until
like,
I can
no,
figure out
that's
what they're
not
trying to say.
right. You said
Well-
that wrong.
Well, do you remember the movie Fist?
Mm.
Sylvester Stallone, Federation of Interstate Truckers. It was that movie
No.
where he played Andy Kovach, I think Andy or something like that. Uh, who
Long
was
time.
he was
This is another
so
old
the movie
movie.
takes place. The movie takes place starts out in like the 20s, right? And then it shows how the Union of Federation Interstate Truckers came together to form a union, and basically, for fair wages, all like how that union came about. And it was
Mhm.
like loosely based on Jimmy Hoffa, in other words.
Oh,
But the movie's
Okay.
called Fist. It's actually a good movie. I may have seen a different Fist. I think you probably have, Andy. So
Not the
anyway,
point.
right. But so in this movie, he plays like I said, his last name is Kovac, so he plays a Hungarian guy who plays Jimmy
mhm,
Hoffa's character. And he meets up with another Hungarian like in Cleveland or some other city, right? And they meet up and he's trying to convince him to why his jukebox company should join his trucking union or whatever, right? And
mhm.
they sit down and I literally had to rewind the VCR like 100 times to figure out what the hell they were saying. Um, because the one guy asks Sly, "Beszélsz magyarul?" Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Sly's reply is "Jobban mi angolul." But it was
Okay.
so butchered and it sounded so bad that I couldn't understand either one of them. I was like, "Wait, what the hell are they saying there?" So then I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, I think that's Hungarian." And then
Mhm,
then
mhm.
eventually, like after 50 listens, I figured out what the hell they're saying there, you know?
Yeah,
But
they
it's
always mess
really
it up.
it's tough. Well, I mean, you can't. It's not. I'll tell you what. The best version I heard was that girl. What commercials? She does like T-Mobile commercials, I think, or something. A blonde chick.
Oh,
She was
yeah?
on Jimmy Fallon. Somebody sent it to me. She was
Hmm,
on Jimmy Fallon, and apparently she was doing a film in Budapest.
hmm.
And her taxi driver, or her driver, not taxi driver, her driver was a local Hungarian, and he taught her a rap song in Hungarian.
Oh, wow.
And she doesn't speak Hungarian, but
Right.
she mimicked it really, really well. And dude, she did it, I think, on Jimmy Fallon. You know what? I'm gonna find it and play it on here next week because you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's pretty damn good, you know.
I
And it was
found
funny.
I found a
What?
guy on, YouTube that is a guy that an American guy living in Hungary and trying to learn, Hungarian.
Yeah. Is he like? Is he? Is that his YouTube channel thing? Like, is that his
Yeah,
shtick or what? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yep. He travels and he actually teaches a lot of Hungarian history, and he does a really good job with it. It's just that
Oh, cool.
his Hungarian is really awful.
Well, I mean,
And he
you said
tries
he's
to
American,
interview
right?
people. Yeah, he's American. He tries to
Yeah.
interview people,
In
and he
Hungarian?
in Hungarian,
Oh, so he
Hungarian
actually
videos
speaks
also.
Hungarian. He's just
He's
bad at it. Is that what you're
He's
saying?
he's just really bad at it, and he thinks he
Gotcha.
does so well, and I'm like, "No, dear, you're not doing well." But no,
Uh,
you guys are gonna need to teach Wayne a couple of words.
yeah, yeah. Dave, oh no, just made fun of me for not learning your language, then laugh when we speak it. Am I a clown to you? Yeah,
Aw,
like a clown, like funny, like ha
it's cute.
Yeah,
Just tell him it's cute.
it's hysterical. Is what I think. Anytime I hear
Yeah.
Americans trying to speak Hungarian, dude, it's fucking hysterical.
There's so many, like, different letters and sounds that they have such
Well, you know what?
hard time
I had
You know,
trouble with the letter R because we roll our R's.
with.
So
Mhm.
when I was a little kid, they constantly had me saying like "re paretek mojo," and there's like a little exercise for that. And I have to like moisten my tongue basically so I can get the
Mhm.
R sounding right because I can't.
Yeah.
To me, the like when we came out to Austria, like the German R is a lot like the
Mhm.
English R, it's sort of similar.
Mhm. Mhm.
So none of them roll the R. So like, wow, that was
Right.
easy. That came
Yep.
naturally. But the Hungarian R, I would struggle with, you know. So I had a
Yep.
speech impediment.
but
Reporoka.
at least you guys have like uh friends that you can talk to like in your native language. I don't. There's no fucking Swedes in fucking Pittsburgh anywhere.
Are you sure?
They don't exist. No, I haven't
They
met.
have to have sweets.
Nope.
Well, there's no Swedish club that
Not
I know of.
even one? What?
Are there any in the U.S.? That's the question.
Oh
In
my
the
god.
Midwest, in like fuck.
Well, I asked this because you can't find a Romanian club in America.
Oh
Hmm.
really?
I mean, by now there might be one. I don't know, but I tell you, I don't. Did I ever tell you about the Romanian guy for whom I was trying to find like a sponsor to get him a violin back in Romania, electric violin?
I think it, yeah, I
No.
remember the story you telling me about that. It
So
was a
this
while back.
guy, I'm going to try to condense it as quickly, but I met this guy just the MySpace days, right? I met this guy, and he was a musician. He sent me some of his stuff, and I was like, wow, that's really good. I mean, it was sort of low quality recordings, but it was still, you could tell like his playing was good, right? I don't know
Yeah.
if he was a gypsy or whatever. Like gypsies are really good violinists, but they really
Other,
are, man. They're some of the, huh?
amongst other things.
Well, yeah, that too. But they are really good, man. Well, look at Django Reinhardt, right? He was one of the best
Yep.
jazz guitar players back in the day.
Yep.
I think he only had 3 fingers, and he was a
Mhm.
gypsy. But at any rate,
Mhm.
I meet this guy, and we got to talking, and he said, he would like a new electric violin because this one was like acting up. I said, well, I don't have the money, but I can find like, I'm sure there's got to be a Romanian organization in America that can help you, right?
Mhm.
Bro.
And
Mhm.
dude, I tried everywhere. I even called my friend Ray, whose wife, Jacunda, is Romanian. He was actually a filmmaker here, went in Romania, did a film, and met Jacunda. And, Jacunda is one of those like more modern Romanian names. You know what I mean? Uh, so I even called her and I was like, hey, is there a Romanian club anywhere around that you know of? She's like, no. And I'm like,
Wow.
well, what the hell? We got Slavic clubs and,
Yeah.
Russian clubs. I got every kind of
Everything
club
else.
imaginable.
Right.
And I can't find one in Romania or a Romanian club anyway, not just in Pittsburgh, but the US. I tried Cleveland, I tried all over the place. And
You're
she said,
kidding.
well, the reason is because when the whole shit went down with Ceausescu and they executed them, by that time, 7 out of 10 people in Romania were spying on each other for the government. So
Right.
nobody trusted
Nobody
anyone.
trusts each other. Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
can
So
see
when the
that.
Romanians
Yeah.
came, they came here, they didn't want to associate with other
Mhm.
Romanians because as far as they're concerned, they were probably rats.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is how bad shit got under Ceausescu. So I ended up finding like an eccentric millionaire type, art dealer type, and
Millionaire.
yeah, he was like an eccentric, he owned a mansion and a yacht. And
Good for him.
he he was out there in California, right? So I get a hold of this guy, and you know what the first thing he says to me is, it's funny you called me, and he had a Romanian accent, kind of sounded like Dracula and shit. And
Blah,
he said, it's
blah, blah.
funny. Yeah. He's like, I have many Hungarian friends, but I don't have any Romanian friends out here. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, you're Hungarian. Why are you trying to help this guy? So, well, I'm a musician. He's a musician. So, I'm trying to find him some money. He just wants an electric violin. And,
He
in
just,
Romania, shit like that was super
poor guy.
expensive,
Yeah.
like 20 years ago, you know?
Mm.
So, I got them in touch. And then, like, a couple days later, this guy from California gets back in touch with me. He's like, this guy's crazy. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I need information from him, like with any, um,
Business
like if you get
transaction.
huh?
Like a charitable transaction.
Right, right. Like if you're getting a, not a loan, but a money given to you, like a, yeah. So
Yeah.
usually, like, they'll want to know some background information, right? To send you the money and all that.
Yeah.
And this guy in Romania just didn't trust him at all. So he just wasn't giving up the information. And he didn't understand how the system here worked. So I had to
Right.
get in touch with him and tell him, hey, this guy's on the up and up. He's literally trying to help you.
Right.
But,
Yep.
he's
You're-
got, he's not giving you the money. Like it's probably going to be a tax write off for him,
Yeah.
you know? So if he's going to help you, he's going
He
to
needs
need some
to,
info.
dude. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, the long story short, I think the guy did end up getting his violin. So that was pretty cool. But, my
Good.
ex-wife was like, why are you trying to help this guy? I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
Yeah.
if I can help somebody, then I'll be happy to do so. And this is like a fellow musician. I don't think she understands
Mhm.
that, being a musician ain't easy anywhere,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And I
Did
mean,
you
we
ever
always,
did you ever hear the name Ratz Aladar?
what?
Did you ever hear the name Ratz Aladar?
Uh-uh.
No.
Why's that?
Just curious.
Oh, okay. What do you,
He's,
thanks, Wayne.
he's, he was a relatively famous composer in Hungary, like
Well, I know the
of,
big ones.
of the Roma descent.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know
So
him.
he's in my family lineage.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Uh, I had a composer teach me in Vienna. Edo Altman was his name. Nice old. I'm sure he's been dead for like 30 years. I mean, he was already like
Yeah.
70 when he
Yeah.
was teaching me back then. You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can say I had a
That's
Viennese composer teach me.
cool.
Yeah. What the hell was I gonna say? Sidetrack myself. That's the best. I do that all the time.
I probably sidetracked you.
Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see
Sorry
this
about
summer.
that.
Yeah, we have. I'm noticing. Have you guys
You were
noticed? Did we talk about the
you were,
UFO shows? I think we talked about the UFO shows, didn't we?
yeah. You were gonna teach Wayne a Hungarian cuss word.
Well, Bosmeg.
Bosmek.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That was perfect. That's the
Perfect.
easy one, though. Most people get that right.
Yeah.
Go with a hard one.
Kurva.
Kurva.
See, it's the R.
Yep.
Kurva.
Kur,
Kurva. Say it.
kur, kurva.
That was better.
Good. That was good.
The thing about Hungarian is the accent is usually on the first syllable, and that's Americans usually tend to
Is the
want to
second.
because
Mm-hmm.
you guys tend to accent the second syllable.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. It's kurva, not kurva. It's kurva.
Kurva.
Kurva. Yeah.
I'll let that slide.
Well, see, the Swedish language,
What's
there's like between 600 and 700 base words, and then everything else is based off those 600 or 700 words.
wow.
Really nice. Well, that's a Viking language.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. It's around pillage, attack, uh, swords, knives, arrows,
Food.
ship.
Mead.
Yeah,
Blood eagle.
yeah, blood eagle. Yeah, we know they got all the important ones down first.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Do you any of you watch Britannia?
Yes.
I
I
love that
did. I
show. The
watched
third
it.
season.
Yeah.
I just started watching the third season, so I waited
Vision.
until it ran its thing. I love that show.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think I've
it's a
even heard.
it's a British TV show. It's about the invasion of Britannia, the Romans
By the
going into
Romans.
Britannia. Yeah, and it happened under which emperor? I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was Nero. It was before him. Oh, Hadrian, because they wanted to build Hadrian's Wall. That's why
Mm-hmm.
they're there. This is before Hadrian's Wall is built. So in fact, I think I just saw the first episode of season 3, so don't ruin it for me
Okay.
in case. But what I'm guessing is that
I
he's
haven't
talking
seen
about.
it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen the third season?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay. Well, the very first episode, then I'm going to ruin it for you. No, but no, in the very first episode, he meets up with the druid leader, that really creepy looking guy with the Dracula
Mm-hmm.
teeth and shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and he's talking to him, the general. He's talking to
Mm-hmm.
him, and he basically says, "Look, everything from this line to this line will be yours, and from this line south is ours." So I'm assuming he's talking about Hadrian's Wall, building Hadrian's Wall. You know,
Okay.
so it's interesting, man, because it shows the druids how they really were, and not like
Mm-hmm.
like people think of the druids, they think of a bunch of fucking hippies just sitting around getting high and
Right.
dancing around a campfire,
Right.
huh?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that wasn't them at all, dude. They were fucked up, man. They were like demon worshippers, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Pretty
but
nasty.
it's interesting how it's done because most of the music for it is almost like 60s rock.
Oh, speaking of composers, did you guys see that fucking Vangelis died?
You talking about what? He died?
Yeah.
When?
Couple days.
Who? Who
You talking
died?
about Evangelis, or who are we talking about?
No, Vangelis, the guy who did the like
Oh,
scores,
did he?
Star Trek, or not Star Wars and shit.
Oh, for Star Wars and Superman and all that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's shit. What the hell's his name? His name escapes me right now.
Vangelis.
No,
Vangelis.
no, shit.
That's
Composer.
So put in composer who just died a couple days ago.
Ray Liotta too.
Yeah,
Did you
Yeah,
hear
it's not
him?
Ray Liotta. Oh, not
Why
Star
do I
Trek. Damn, I put in Star Trek.
why do I think of Love Unlimited Orchestra all of a sudden? I don't know why.
Oh, John Williams. Yeah, that's it. That's yeah. He's a big composer in today's day and age.
No,
I
his name
really
is
like. I
something
love
like that.
John Williams' music.
I'm thinking of
Mm.
a different movie. It's probably not Star Wars.
Oh, let me see. Okay. Recent composer who died.
Yeah,
Music composer who
telling you, it was
died. Armando Manzareno.
no.
Broadway legend Steve Sondheim. Singers, musicians who died.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I thought you were talking about Evangelista. I love his music, man.
No.
Evangel.
Blade Runner and
Yeah, but he died within the last couple days.
What'd he die of?
I don't even know.
I just assume everyone dies of, the vax now.
Radio.
Seriously,
There's not even anything that was put out about how he died.
I'm guessing you probably won't. I was talking with a friend today who was at my place, and I don't want to mention her name just in case she don't want me to say anything about it. But yeah, but her brother's sister just died recently, like within the last couple of weeks, of a heart attack in a hospital, and
heart
she was double boosted.
Oh,
I'm like, well, you know, that's not a mystery. You're gonna keep fucking around with those boosters, man. You're gonna die of one or the other, heart attack or blood clot. And
Yep.
I've somebody who's had a blood clot and survived it. I'm gonna tell you that's painful. I hope you get the heart attack.
Oh, did you hear who else died?
Huh?
We were just talking about him a couple months or a couple weeks ago on the live.
Who's that?
Who?
Fucking Alan White of Yes.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
Alan White?
yeah. I'm not fucking looking, dude. He died a couple days ago as well.
Really?
Wow.
Well,
I think I heard that. Yeah.
wow. Alan White, longtime drummer for Yes, dead at 72.
It doesn't say what he died of.
Wow. That would have been this article is from yesterday. I don't know if that's when he died, but
It was. I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was the day before that.
I found another one May 26th. So wow, Alan White's dead. And I love his sound, man. Like 90125, I believe that was Alan White.
Yeah.
And I love that sound. I would love to have gotten that sound for Chubb's drums if I could get, if I were a good enough engineer, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to music, I suck at the engineering. Hey, I know my limits. I know my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with engineering, you got to be able to get up and down and climb into instruments and position.
A lot of,
you know what I mean?
A lot of musicians died this week. Fucking terrible, dude.
Well, I'm gonna guess that he was probably boosted.
Mm-hmm.
He's in England. 72, most likely got boosted.
Yep.
Ray Liotta, yeah, Andy. I'm guessing he was vaxxed. I mean, hell, wasn't he pushing that drug for the quit smoking drug? Starts with a Chantix, yeah. Yeah. And who's that by? That's Pfizer, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm pretty sure he was vaxxed.
Also, there was another, like one of my favorite bands. They broke up back in 2010. The band was called Nemec. That singer died as well. He was only 44.
Wow.
They're from Denmark.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, this is gonna be the new normal. If you want the new normal, it's gonna be seeing a lot of people dropping dead. 15, 16-year-old boys having heart attacks.
Did you say that the brand's name was Mimic?
Nemec. M-N-E-M-I-C. Guillaume Bidou.
I'll have to ask my husband. He's into that symphonic Scandinavian rock stuff.
Yeah, it's called
he's like
M-I-C.
Okay, he's into like Within Temptation and
oh, cool.
Whatever. Who's that big band? What the heck?
Nightwish.
Nightwish.
I like
yes,
Nightwish.
thank you.
I like Nightwish. Yeah, I got a couple of their CDs.
Floyd Jansen, she's hot.
He's major into Nightwish. Yeah, he went to see them a couple of times in Pittsburgh too. Yeah.
Wait, you both are talking.
I think they had two different singers, right? First, they had that opera chick who who
Annette,
ended up
Yeah.
quitting because I think her husband talked her out of the band or something like that.
Annette. Her name was Annette, but I can't remember her last name.
Well, he would know, but Floor Jansen is now, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
I was
went to
actually
see.
turned on to them by that crazy Bulgarian chick I dated back like
Oh yeah.
fucking 2008. Yeah. Oh, she was nuts. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guillaume Badu, that's the singer of Nemec who died, 44 years old.
Oh wow.
44. And what was his death?
You can't even find hardly any information on him dying. Put it that
Yeah. Well, it's like the guy who worked for Bill Clinton, right? The guy who was just died at age 59.
Mm-hmm.
And, the family's not even releasing a cause of death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like in his case, it was probably 2 bullet holes to the head.
by suicide, no less.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but yeah, another means of population control trap set by the elite for the middle class. Oh, and the lower classes. They love taking them
Yeah.
out, man.
Yep.
I
Well, the
love when
lower.
Fauci. I love that one thing with Fauci when he came out, tried to be hip to the black people. Did you see that one?
No.
It's like, and to my African brothers and sisters,
Oh
you
yeah.
Oh,
should
Yeah.
know that the vaccine was invented by a black woman or an African American female. He's like trying to be hip and shit. I'm like, dude, you're the biggest fucking nerd on the planet. Stop
yeah.
it,
Shut up and sit down.
dude. When you're a multimillionaire and the money can't make you cool, you're like the ultra nerd, right? You're there with Bill Gates and those assholes. After the ouchie, yeah. Oh, these fucking goobers, man.
I know. It's crazy. Well, the lower classes, I think they kind of like to keep around for various reasons. It's
Well, they would look. They would love to downsize the black population. I mean, that's what they're using. Whatchamacallit, the abortion clinics for, right? And
mm,
what's it called? The thing they give this such a pretty name to, family
Planned Parenthood.
parenthood, family
and
parenthood, right?
so,
They give it
mhm.
always such a pretty name. Like you think family parenthood? Oh, my heart.
No, it's
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Planned Parenthood. I'm sorry. Yeah, Planned Parenthood. Yeah, but even that
Mhm.
sounds pretty, doesn't it? Like,
No.
wouldn't you
Mhm.
want to be part of an organization that's Planned Parenthood? We're gonna
Well,
plan your parenthood. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, do a
Well,
little
that's a
back research
Kabbalah
back onto their
organization too.
yeah.
do a little bit of research on their humble beginnings and see what the chick who brought that up had to say about
Yep.
the
About
Yeah, but
blacks, especially.
she
yeah.
was not alone, Wayne. She had backers.
Oh, yeah, and of course you had the
Back he
Rockefellers
went
were
with
there.
Bill Gates' dad.
Yeah, Bill. I was just about to say the
Mhm.
Rockefellers, Bill Gates' dad. He was
Yep.
the original eugenics group. Reverse
Yep.
psychology, says Andy. That's exactly it. You know.
Mhm.
Um, I
Yep.
mean, they're so good at killing you, but giving you a warm fuzzy about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they always come up with such pretty names and packaging. Everything's in a packaging, and then you open it up and it kills you.
Check this
Mhm.
out. Check this out. I had a conversation with this dude yesterday. I don't know the guy. Like he's not my friend or anything, but we were talking and
Were
he
you
was
trolling somebody?
it was on a friend of mine's post.
There you go.
But he was talking about how like he thought like a new world order was like a good thing and stuff, and he was trying to make all these points and stuff. He went on to he asked me, he's like, well, what makes it so that you know what difference between the laws that we have now and the ones that they would instill as a one world government, what would be the and I'd be like, well, it would be, you would lose all your sovereign laws that you had in your own country.
You're right.
You
You
wouldn't be
lose your
able
rights.
you wouldn't be able to say, I object to that because now that the laws are worldwide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can say that's not a good law. I don't think we agree in that, and blah blah blah.
Right.
He was getting it, and then he went on to say that, like, he was like, if you look at, and I was like, that can quickly lead into totalitarianism.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
he was like, well, he's like, I don't think you know what that means, because he's like, how did he put it? He was like, he made it sound like totalitarianism was just people paranoid that their country was going to get invaded, and that's what
What?
it was. I'm like, are you on crack, dude? Like, I'm not even talking to you anymore. Like, you
Well,
are
that's
fucking
why I
dumb.
don't talk to. That's why I don't even argue with people about shit. Here's the thing. I've said for a long time that we're headed for a one world government type of thing. Okay. This guy watches too much CNN. Yeah, apparently.
Mhm.
um, it's
I'm
gonna be. We're
I,
gonna have.
I'm actually, I'll be honest with you, I'm 100% for it, just not the way that they want to implement it.
Well, so that's what
Mhm.
I'm getting at. So I, I said for years that we're going to have a one world government because you could see it coming, right? We went from like individual tribes to villages to
Yeah,
cities to states, countries, etc., right? Continents. And with how easily we travel from place to place in today's world, it's
exactly,
not practical to not have a global system. But my
exactly.
question was this: Are is it going to be America emulating the rest of the world, or the rest of the world emulating America? You understand what I'm saying? Like, is the rest of the world going to get basically the United States Constitution, or are we going to strip our Constitution and become this rest of the world bullshit? Well, this is where Jasara Nasara comes in. And these are the two systems you're seeing right now. You're seeing the
Mhm.
Great Reset, which is exactly the totalitarian bullshit you're talking about,
Yep.
and
Right.
Yep.
Nasara Jasara, which is basically bringing the freedom and the Constitution of the United
Mhm.
States to the rest of the world.
Right.
Okay, and that's the difference. And but they look similar because they're both on a global scale, so people confuse the two. And but I want people to understand that there's a massive difference
Mhm.
between the two systems. In one,
Yep.
you will own nothing and be happy. In the
Mhm.
other system, we're going to have abundance. Okay,
Mhm.
we're getting the gold and all the shit that's been stolen from us, the money
Mm.
back. We're going to get freedom. We're going to have, you know, we're going to have liberty around
I'm
the
rubbing
world.
off,
Huh?
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, right. I've
Yeah,
talked too much. I need water.
I'm seeing a lot of this stuff by Nasara Jassar a lot on a lot of different channels, even on like on not only Facebook but YouTube. And people are
Uh,
really talking a lot about it. And David Straight's name keeps popping up so
Yeah.
much. In the past couple weeks, I've seen it like four, five, six different places, and
Well,
his
I tell
quotes
you
and
what,
everything else.
I have never at any time have we been this close to the RV.
Hmm.
And now they're throwing out there the date of June 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Yeah,
I don't know if
and
it's going to happen. If it happens, my philosophy is it'll happen when it happens.
yeah. I
I
think
can't, I'm
Marcy
not,
was talking about June something, wasn't he?
yeah, yeah, early June, 1st, 2nd, we're going to find because basically everything is in place. But they do keep saying that Russia needs to finish up their shit,
Mhm.
right? So
Yep.
that's sort of what's been holding everything back. So we'll see what happens. I mean, all I can do is just invest and sit on it. And I'm just sitting on it. And then we'll find out what the rates are. If it's truly 30 million per 100 trillion Zim, I'll be the happiest man alive. All right. Uh, and if it's only 10 million, 5 million, or 1 million, I'm still okay.
Yeah.
Whatever I'll get is going to be more than
Well,
what I
yeah, I mean,
invested.
yeah, if we go back to 1950s prices, yeah, it's that 1 million is gonna be what, 2030.
Right. Exactly. So, and then
So,
on top of that, the silver and shit I own too,
mhm,
silver and gold they're talking about gold tripling in price within the next few months. If it
mhm,
happens, silver is going to go right with it. So
right.
they're talking about silver prices in the next few years being at $2,500 or more an ounce,
Mm,
so
really? Well,
yeah.
I better get some more then.
Oh yeah. Well,
Perhaps.
here's the thing with silver is that the big lie is that there's a lot of silver, and there's not.
Hmm.
There's actually a lot more gold in the world than there is silver. So they've been lying to us about that shit. And not only that, but silver is in everything from medications to computer systems to you know what I mean, to all that chips and
Chips
everything
to
else. The med
batteries, yep,
beds need silver.
yep.
that's
So
wrong. That's wrong.
what's wrong?
But
Gold is for computer components because it's more
Oh, gold.
conductive.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
productive, yeah.
the point being, though, silver does have a lot of uses,
Oh yeah,
But
and
definitely.
it's but it
Computer.
seems like throughout the
okay,
years they've been, the stockpiling the gold, so,
yeah.
you know, seems like there's a lot more on the surface of the earth of the gold than it's always been a more valuable metal.
Well, it
So
has, and you can tell
they've
by the
they've
price,
been
right?
digging
I
that
mean,
up, yeah.
gold right now is like around $2,000 an ounce, 1,900 or whatever, right? It's floating around there.
Yeah,
Silver is around 25. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I
So
checked was like 1850 for gold or something.
yeah, but gold is going to end
1829.
up tripling, right? So if gold goes to $6,000 an ounce, silver jumps to say 2,000 an ounce. Silver
Mm.
technically made a bigger jump, so it's a
Oh,
better investment,
definitely. Yep.
but it's still going to be worth less than gold, you know.
Yep.
Um, but you can't go wrong with either one. So
No.
I for most people I say buy silver because it's cheaper. You can buy more of it. You know, I
Just
don't have $2,000 an ounce to be buying gold coins. You know,
right. Right.
but one of the first things I'm probably going to do is as soon as the RV goes through, is I'm going to invest quite a few bit of money in gold and silver, and I'm actually buying the bars. Don't do that shit on paper. Like I went into whatever online broker and I bought gold or silver because you don't actually own that shit. That's not in
Right.
your hand.
Yeah, you're
You
Right.
want
renting
the
it.
real deal, huh?
You're renting it.
Yeah, you're not
Mhm.
even doing that. I mean, what
And if
they'll
people
do is
evict you, they can evict you.
right. I have a friend of mine. She deals in gold, and she says that you when you buy gold, you want to actually buy the bar. And she deals with people with a lot of money, right? So they're buying bars, which is like I don't know, $80,000 for a bar or whatever it
Wow.
is,
Yeah, it's
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
all
when you buy that shit, you want to make sure you buy the bar. Don't just buy the bar and then like you don't actually take it with you.
yeah.
Because what
Put it.
happens is they'll sell the same bar with the same code to like three or four different people.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
buy this bar and
definitely.
you left it with the
You want
bank
it in your
somewhere.
hands.
yeah.
You
Fuck
want it
that.
in your yeah,
Yeah,
for
don't trust
sure.
anybody for shit.
No, you
No,
take that shit and you either have
exactly.
yourself a vault in the ground or you take it to a bank and put in a safety deposit box that
Yeah,
only you have the key to, you
or you
know.
bury that shit. Fucking
Like,
pirate shit. Put an X marks
you
the
carry
spot.
the map rolled up in your boot.
X marks the spot.
Right. Right. So, well, we're rolling
Yeah.
up to midnight here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Are
we've
we
gone through
already? Holy moly. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
we're about 14 minutes away.
Well, it
So,
goes
all right, well, that
fast.
was a good chat. Oh, I didn't play my Jasara whatever video. Next week
Mm.
I'll do it. We ain't rich yet, folks, but there's some great news out there. So, um, Zimbabwe. I saw all kinds of good Zimbabwe news, which makes me happy. I have
Mhm.
lots of Zim. I have lots of Zim.
We have to stay
So,
positive and, you
absolutely.
know, yeah.
And just and here's the biggest thing I would say is, they're going to do everything they can in these next 6 months, especially
Mhm.
leading into the election, to
Mhm.
scare the shit out of you.
Yep.
Get ready. Like I said earlier, get ready for more false flags. You're going to see false flags all over the place. You're going to see riots.
I'm
Okay.
not. I don't pay attention to that shit.
No, but I'm saying it's going to happen. I mean, at some point, a riot could end up on your front street, and
And what's
you're
gonna
like,
happen?
how'd this start? Huh?
What's gonna happen if that happens?
Well, we'll see if you're allowed to use your toy or not.
Yeah,
They'll take your toy and throw you in jail.
loud. Somebody comes up, blast it right out to the other
You
side.
saw what they did with that couple, right? That rich couple.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
they dragged
Yeah.
them through the mud and shit. Meanwhile, they didn't even shoot at anybody. They just stood
but they,
out there with their
you know
guns. And
what? Both of them were dumb as hell though. Poor fucking trigger control. Like just do you even go to shoot?
but
Just go.
but
Away.
that's not even the point. I mean, I don't care how good they were. The bottom line is you have your right to defend your home. And
Yeah,
Mhm.
these people were literally like trespassing and coming in to threaten to hurt them. And somehow, they tried to turn it around that they were the terrorists. You
yeah,
know, so
Mhm.
this is the shit that we're dealing with today. It's literally an upside down world where the good guys are the bad guys and bad guys are heroes. Like fucking assholes like George Floyd are turned into martyrs, right? You saw
yeah.
Obama, right? He came out and these kids get shot in Texas, right? And he's like, while we were talking about the kids in Texas, don't forget about George Floyd and how he was killed by police and this and that.
Oh.
I'm like, what a fucking asshole. Like who wants to hear about fucking that dickhead who fucking literally caused his own death?
Hey,
And
oh, let's talk about the people that you drone bomb back to the Stone Age. Go fuck
thank
yourself.
you. Thank you. This is the piece of shit we're dealing with. And these idiots won't even understand that he is literally a Bush by blood.
Yeah,
He is a Bush by blood, just a darker version, but he's the same fucking thing.
Mm.
You know, he
yeah,
and his
same.
big Mike lover, huh?
Yeah, same asshole in a different suit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, at any rate, you're gonna get all that, man. It's gonna be chaotic
Oh,
times. And that's exactly what they want.
You had a speech from Biden today by George Floyd. Is that like the second anniversary or something this week?
Who
Or
Oh my God.
cares?
yeah,
Yeah, but
who?
you see how they're
Biden.
pushing the George Floyd thing, and why are they pushing it? Because they want to create more chaos. They want people to get out there
Mhm.
and riot, and this is how
Yep.
they're doing it all. So it's coming. Just get ready for all that shit. Get ready for again gas shortages, food
Like,
shortages. Happy second year sobriety, George. But I'm,
It's gonna be like odd even license plate gas days,
oh, it's
oh,
coming. It's coming.
like it used to
I mean,
be.
look,
You remember
we're
that?
gonna have. I
back in the
like
70s,
what?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, well, I wasn't here for that, so.
It was like the A70s or
No,
70s,
that was
like
the 70s because I wasn't here for that. That was under
yeah,
Carter.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
undercard. Yep.
yeah, uh, yeah. Meanwhile, he was in Vienna with his daughter getting ice cream from Ticky's,
Yay.
my favorite ice cream parlor ever.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Oh, Ticky's was awesome.
Oh,
Have you ever had it?
I never had it.
Ah, when we were living in Vienna, that was the world's #2 rated ice cream parlor,
Really?
second
Huh.
best ice cream parlor in the world. Oh, it was unbelievable. That ice cream was like, look, if you want pastries and shit like that, I mean, Vienna's not a bad place.
No, it isn't.
You know,
Well, yeah,
Vienna will
Budapest.
put a pound or two on your hip for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Budapest rivaled it pretty well, I think, though.
It does. I mean, well, look, all your major cities, right? If you go to Paris or anywhere but London, their food sucks. But you got
Aw.
Paris and
Yeah,
you've got
all of England's food is not good. It's terrible.
that, like my buddy Dennis always said, this is why the English invaded everywhere in the world. Their food sucks.
Yeah, they,
That's
Look, who
funny.
were they always warm with? France and all these
Uh-huh.
places that know
yeah.
how to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
So,
go to
what
war
was
with
your
the
favorite?
Nordic places. We got shit like Surströmming.
yeah,
Fuck
what
that.
were you
It's
asking?
get up here and your fish is fucked up.
Yeah.
I was asking what your favorite dessert was when you were little.
So I don't know the name to some of them because my mom passed away when I was like 18 and but she
Okay.
made really good there was one, you probably know what it is. It's sort of like a doughy, it's a ball, chocolate. It has like you can put shredded coconuts on it and it had sort of like a rum or something in inside it. It was really freaking good. And I don't know what it's called, but I've been craving the shit out of it and I have no idea what the name of it is.
Aw. Hmm.
That I like. Then there was this other
Yeah, he
again,
liked
I
the
haven't had these
alcohol in it. He's
yeah.
anked and
Well, you know
shit.
what? You know what? The rum was really good and all that shit. And then we had it when we were kids. That dessert was
The
really good. And then,
chestnut puree they used to make it chestnuts soaked in rum. Do you remember that?
uh-uh,
Chestnut puree? No? Hmm.
no. But we would go skating all the time when I was little. We would go ice skating in this like makeshift ice skating rink. And
Mm-hmm.
they served tea with rum in it there. Oh, it was delicious. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like 7, 8 years old drinking it. Kept you warm.
Yep.
And it was delicious.
That's why you guys aren't alcoholics.
Probably.
We are alcoholics. Hungarians are alcoholics. I admit to it.
I admit to it.
I'm a wino. Totally a wino for sure.
You know what? I rarely ever drink. I mean, I drank at my birthday party. I probably had about 6 drinks in the whole time.
Wow.
I mean,
I
I
had
wasn't
2.
crushing it. I was just
I had 2 I had 2 drinks at your fucking party, and I hadn't drank anything since last summer.
well,
Wow.
you and Chubb smoked near the end there.
Yeah, we did.
Then you guys just started laughing.
We had good reason to, though.
Right. Oh, goodness gracious. So, all right,
Wow.
let's wrap it up. But yeah, we'll do
Okay.
this again next
Yeah,
Saturday. And again, people just expect the chaos. It's coming. So, don't
Mhm.
even be like, oh my God.
Definitely.
Just stock
Don't
up
let-
on food.
Yep.
Don't
for
hoard.
sure.
By the way, don't go to the supermarket and buy like all the toilet paper and all
Yeah.
the beans and
Douche.
just
Yeah.
buy a little
Actually-
extra each time. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do.
Exactly.
know?
Yep. That's right.
So
You know,
that's what I've been doing
non-perishables.
for like the last 6 months, just buying a
You
little
know.
extra and
Giant,
Yeah.
Giant Eagle is not Sam's Club.
yeah, right. So
Not
I mean,
like
here's
us. We're getting the storage buckets with the seal
Yeah.
lid.
Yeah.
And, the oxygen
mean-
packets.
Check that! I got a 50-gallon drum of fucking toilet paper. It's awesome.
Right.
In my
Got
backyard.
all the toilet paper.
It
But even
lasts
with
for
that, if you just buy,
75 years.
even with
That's
that, if you just buy like whatever, a set like every week or something, just
Hmm.
you'll
yeah,
have plenty, man. You know.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna need, I mean, everything I'm hearing, they're saying we're gonna need some shit for basically like 3 months. You
Yep.
yeah,
know, three to
Yep.
6 months.
3 to 6 months.
Um,
Yeah.
and
I mean, that,
and
yeah.
here's the thing: you're buying shit like rice, beans, canned goods. So
Mhm.
even if
Mhm.
we never need it, it's food. You can eat it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Exactly.
So
Plus,
Grow a
it's just way
garden.
back. I got deer in my backyard.
yeah, well, oh, we got all kinds of deer around here now,
Venison
thanks
is
to COVID,
awesome.
huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Venison is awesome.
It
Oh yeah,
is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather not kill them if I don't have to.
Well, yeah.
oh yeah.
But
But I
you know,
will
when you
if I
have
have
a
But
in a country like where we live, we have farmers that shoot like 200-300 of them a year.
Yeah.
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 So
You're like,
you know,
Well,
they're like,
look,
here, kitty.
actually, here in the city, we kind of need to. They need to like have because
thin now.
well, the problem is that during the COVID lockdown, they multiplied like crazy,
Yeah, because
and
nobody's
now we
going out.
yeah, they roam all over the place, and it we occasionally before then you would see deer, but it would be like late at night. You'd see one trying to walk up the street or something. Now they
Right.
roll in gangs of like 5 and 6, man, and they're not even scared of you. Like they'll
Yeah,
stop, look at you, and be like, "What's up?" And
go
then
fuck.
I'm waiting for one to be like, "You need something? Eh? You need something? What's up?" Just walk away,
I got deer meat, motherfucker.
right? Just walk away. You saw
Oh
nothing.
my God. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Last few years though, it's been crazy hunting season, and we hardly ever see any deer. And all of a sudden this
'Cause
year
they're
they're
all
like
here.
Yeah,
exploded.
they're in my
But
backyard.
but they're exploded,
Yeah.
this year. They're
Well,
everywhere.
especially during COVID, like I said, especially during COVID, their numbers went way up, man.
Yeah, because nobody was.
So
So
Nobody was
yeah,
out hunting.
yeah. That was, to be honest with you, I enjoyed that COVID lockdown because there was never better riding than then. I had the
Mhm.
streets all to myself. I didn't have to worry about cars or nothing, man. It was awesome. So
some dumbass
Yeah,
got a flag.
lock them
I
all
was
down again. I'm all for it. Lock them all down.
I
I
was
got new
home for
tires,
five
man. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Some
I
dumbass
was home for
got
5
a
months.
flag.
Didn't have to work. My garden was beautiful.
Yeah, see?
It was fantastic.
Yeah, like a Japanese garden growing and shit.
My vegetables and
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff, they were growing crazy. It looked beautiful. I had fun doing it. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, I have to go back to work. Why?
Yeah, well, technically you got food, so you're good to go.
Yeah, you got
You were
the
living a
check
true
from
anarchist life.
There you
you
go.
got the check from the government. Things are
Oh, that's what
good.
I wanted to say. We were talking with Jack today, and Jack was telling me that they were, he goes to Dice. He's a freshman at Alderdice now, and they were learning this week about the different, or, like socialism, capitalism, different types of government, I guess,
Hmm.
and he said like anarchy and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, what they teach you about anarchy?
Oh, this ought to be good.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you would expect it.
Of course.
Anarchy is like it's all about doing what you want, and but it leads to chaos and this and that. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, that's what they taught you. And then we told them that, no, it's actually just minding your own fucking business.
Exactly.
That's what
yeah.
anarchy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the Greek suffixes of what the word actually means, it just means no masters. That's literally
Yeah.
what it. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like it. I like the idea of that.
I like that
So
too. Yeah. Do no harm.
Yeah.
That's it.
well, that's
That's the anarchist credo. If the real people who follow real anarchy, that's their credo.
That-
You follow the non-aggression principle. You're not going
right,
to fuck anybody.
yeah, that's
but-
the credo for state nationals too. Do no harm.
right. Yeah, do what you want, just don't intrude on others. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Dandy just
Yeah.
wrote. Just be cool, man.
Yeah.
It's like party on, dudes.
Exactly. And you know what? It's just about living your life the way that you want it to. And why should anybody be able to say you can't do that if you're not hurting anybody or if you're not fucking with their shit?
Well,
They
that's the
should.
thing.
Literally.
They should.
And imagine
I
just
mean,
people.
that explains why everybody go. I mean, a lot of people are going off grid. It just
Yeah. The whole concept of having to have a license for this or that to me is just like
It's
ridiculous.
fucking insane.
It
It's
is.
Taxation.
License to drive, license to fish, license to hunt, license to
Mhm,
build a
mhm.
deck, license to,
Yeah.
put an
No,
addition on your house. So fuck
you,
you.
no,
But
you have the right to hunt and fish to support your family and to feed your
Sure.
family.
that's
Yeah.
literally the most insane shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Like they literally somehow whatchamacallit, copyrighted nature.
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Monopolized it. Can't even collect rainwater legally. Yeah, you're right. A lot of places are
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
It's fucked
yeah,
up.
Or
it's insane.
tax you how much
Although
rain falls on your roof.
although to be honest with you, I think the rainwater has to do with they don't want you testing it and seeing what's falling from the sky.
Well,
Uh,
that wouldn't surprise
Huh?
that probably wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, right.
right?
Oh man. Yeah. Oh man, that's
Yeah,
a good
but
topic for next one.
Yeah.
you absolutely do have the right to hunt and fish to feed your family.
Yeah.
That's a basic human right.
Yeah.
Apparently
But
not today. You need a license for it.
yeah, they got people out there with guns walking around saying, do you have a license for that? Do you have a
Yeah.
permit for that? Yep.
Yep.
Oh, permit to carry a gun. There's another one.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, in the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms, but now you need a permit to carry a gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
How that
And
happened.
just be very careful what you call it. If you call it an arm, it's fine, but if you call it a firearm, that's a no-no.
Oh
Because
my.
that play on words again. There we go.
Everything's a play on words, these fuckers. I can't wait till they're hanged. I just, Soros Guri. Boss meg az anyádat.
He probably
At least
did.
now he knows part of what I said. I
He
basically said, fuck
probably
your
did.
mother.
Yeah, he probably
Uh,
did.
Yes, you're right. He probably did. That fucking
About
fake
it.
Jew motherfucker. That's what he is. That's what they all are. Those fake Jews. That's why I call them
Yeah.
the fake Jews. I had
Bunch of Khazarians.
my buddy Joel called me last night or 2 nights ago, freaking out that he was talking with an Orthodox Jewish friend of his, I guess, and he was filling him about what a scumbag George Soros is and that he's a Jew and this and that. And I had to calm him down. I'm like, dude, he's a fake Jew. Okay,
Yeah.
he's just hiding behind that religion.
Exactly.
Okay?
Like that
Yeah.
whole fucking movement hijacked it. Jesus
Hey, they
Christ.
could have, you know what? They had a choice, right, between Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. They just chose Judaism, but they could easily have been Christians and pretending to be Christians while, kind of like the Pope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christians out there who pretend to be Christians. You
Well,
just
yeah,
let-
but no,
Yeah,
but
you're right about
yeah.
that, Wayne, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
but the point being, these guys could have easily had the Christian label or the Muslim label, but they
Mhm.
chose the Jew one. So
Yeah.
I think it was smart on their part because now they can play master and victim.
Mm.
Exactly.
But I guess if they would have chosen Christianity, then it would have been 6 million Christians who were killed in World War II.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of dirtbag motherfuckers.
On that
Say
note,
it, Wayne. Bosmeg, Wayne. Bosmeg.
What's that?
Say Bosmeg.
Bosmek.
Soros Guri.
What?
Soros Guri.
Soros Garuri. Fuck that all up.
It's all good.
it's good. I love it.
All right, let's wrap it up on that happy note.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, guys. Good chat. See
Have
you
a
later.
good week. See ya.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.